sheriff and Green River Task Force detective is thinking about the case. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke with Dave Reichard.
He's an evil monster who invaded our lives here in Washington State.
The effort of tracking him down and finding the bodies of his victims is something Reichard still thinks about.
You don't forget collecting the bodies of little girls in various forms of decomposition.
Ridgway was arrested by the Green River Task Force in 2001 and convicted in 2003 for murdering nearly 50 women.
Ridgway is now 76 years old and serving a life sentence at the state penitentiary in Walla Walla. Meanwhile, Seattle police killed a man in Seattle's Rainier Valley neighborhood yesterday after he allegedly pointed a gun at officers. KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch has details.
The 911 call came in about 1:30 Tuesday afternoon. A shirtless man brandishing a handgun near MLK Way and Othello near the light rail station. Police arrived within 2 minutes. SPD Chief Sean Barnes tells us what happened next.
Officers attempted to communicate with him, attempted to negotiate with him, at which time the person pointed the weapon and the officers dispatched their weapons.
As Seattle police officers were involved, the King County Force Investigation Team will handle the investigation. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
The owner of the hookah lounge where a patron was shot and killed Monday morning had a hearing yesterday before the Seattle hearing examiner. Farid Biya, who owns the hookah lounge, asked for the hearing to be contested for 3 citations for violations of the city's nightlife ordinance. Chadwick Wickers is the Seattle's Financial Administrative Services.
They chose to continue operating past 2:00 a.m. while out of compliance, despite repeated warnings and opportunities to correct course.
The owner admits he did not have the required liquor license and after-hours permit. A new tax proposal goes after Washington's largest corporations. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay reports.
The Well Washington Fund would bring in about $3 billion a year for things like higher education and health care, using a payroll tax on wages over $125,000 at the biggest 1% of Washington companies. That's according to Democratic State Representative Sean Scott.
There may be no kings in Washington state, but we most certainly do have elites.
It's all rhetoric. This would be a state income tax.
State Representative and Washington State Republican Party Chair Jim Walsh tells John Curley this proposal will be dead on arrival when the legislative session starts in January. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Washington's election results are now official. Governor Bob Ferguson and Secretary of State Steve Hobbs certified last month's vote. And Ferguson thanked Hobbs and his staff for their work.
We appreciate the hard work of our elections crew, all across the state who do really important work, now more than ever, especially important.
Right now, Hobbs is facing a federal lawsuit accusing him of violating election law by refusing to release statewide voter registration records. Hobbs says he has not been served yet, but he does add that state and federal law prohibit him from releasing that information. We're hearing from the 88-year-old woman who was robbed and had her finger bit off at her South Seattle home. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao has her story.
Emma Cotton is staying strong after being brutally attacked on her porch in October. Cotton says he wanted her rings.
He could have them. My life was more important than rings. I can always get my wedding ring back, but I couldn't get my life back.
But when he went for one more ring,
he taken my hand and had it in his mouth. And that's when I started scratching his face with this hand. And he just kept biting it until he got the ring off.
Her finger bitten off, bones broken, and face bleeding.
Seattle police are still searching for the suspect. Crime Stoppers is offering a $1,000 reward for any tips. Now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Everett to Seattle about 28 minutes right now. Linwood to Seattle about 15 minutes. Marysville to Seattle about 32 right now. And for your KIRO News Radio forecast, mainly cloudy this morning. It'll be dry this afternoon with highs close to 45. Right now, it's about 38 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold on the big national stories of the week. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic. providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of holiday magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83, or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83, or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83, or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Get ready, because Murphy Auction is closing out the year with a massive Marysville equipment auction with the complete dispersal of AA rentals, 7 mini excavators, 17 skid steers, tractors, backhoes, telescopic forklifts, and over 100 gas-powered landscaping tools. Need something heavier? A John Deere 85G excavator, a Hitachi ZX290LC, a Cat CS563E roller, and 10 high-reach boom lifts, plus 3 big-time dump trucks hit the block, a 2018 Kenworth G880 Super Solo, a 2019 Peterbilt quad axle, and a 2005 Kenworth G800 quad axle, plus a fleet of 6 2017 to 2019 Peterbilt 567 tractors. Auction opens 10 a.m. Thursday, December 4th, and closes 10 a.m. Thursday, December 11th. Preview is Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 3803 136th Street Northeast in Marysville. Visit murphyauction.com for details.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
We call up New York Times investigative reporter David Fahrenthold.
David, good morning. Let's start with the intensifying backlash surrounding the Trump administration's deadly strikes on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean. We asked our military expert Jeff McCausland about this yesterday. We'd love to gauge your thoughts. What does it appear Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth actually did here?
Well, what the reporting has been is that the very first strike on a boat in the Caribbean Sea back in September, that there was an original strike, which we've all seen, on a boat that had a bunch of people on it that the Department of Defense believed was a drug smuggling boat. But then afterward, there were survivors. There were people, clinging to the boat in the water, clinging to the wreckage of the boat. And this is a case that, and no matter what the battlefield, once people are defenseless, in this case, people sort of hanging onto the wreckage of a boat, they pose no physical threat to anyone. They're not smuggling drugs anymore. They're just trying to survive. What you do in that situation is you rescue them, and that's happened in World War II. We rescued the people who were sailors from downed ships. But in this case, what Pete Hegseth said was to shoot them again, to blow them up again, and make sure there were no survivors. And that appears to violate the laws of war. And there's been a lot of calls in Congress from Republicans and Democrats to investigate that more, because that is a clear step beyond what's allowed, even under the very expanded guidelines Trump is operating under in the Caribbean.
Does it appear they are going to start singling out the admiral who was in charge of this operation?
Well, and that is the risk that's created for everybody here, is that there these, as a member of the military, you have to follow orders, but you only have to follow lawful orders. You can't follow unlawful orders. And if Pete Hegseth in this case gave an unlawful order, people weren't supposed to follow it. So yes, that will be the sort of effort here, is to try to figure out the chain of command. Was it Hegseth to an admiral, to somebody operating a drone, or was it Hegseth directly to the drone operator? Who gave that order and who transmitted the order?
I want to switch gears and talk about Alina Habba. A federal appeals court has ruled that President Trump's former personal attorney is serving unlawfully as the U.S. attorney for New Jersey. Can you break this down for us?
Yeah, the president has the power to appoint U.S. attorneys. Those are the federal prosecutors in different regions. But there are limits on that power. One of them is that the president's picks have to be confirmed by the Senate. And typically that means that the senators from that state have to consent. It doesn't mean that if it's a Democratic senator, it has to be a Democrat that gets appointed, but it has to be a pick that is, amenable to the senators in this case, in that state. In this case, Trump's personal attorney, Alina Habba, does not have a lot of experience as a prosecutor, clearly extremely loyal to him personally. He was paying her bills until recently. And the two senators from New Jersey, the two Democratic senators from New Jersey, said they didn't want her. They were not interested in her. And so Trump has been trying to get around that by trying various legal maneuvers to install her as a temporary U.S. attorney. And there are limits to that. And that's what the court said in this case. There are folks that have been charged with crimes by her have said, she's not legally appointed. She shouldn't be holding this job. She doesn't have the legal power to do what she's doing. And this is the second case. First, the trial court, now an appeals court, agreed and said that she doesn't have the right to do this. What the president should do is nominate somebody that can get confirmed by the Senate. But he seems determined to keep this particular person in there. So I think they're going to go to the Supreme Court.
David, I want to ask you about the story you did last week about the president's disclosure of the individual donors who helped pay for his transition. What did you find?
Well, the President's Transition, which is an official organization, a nonprofit that sort of houses the administration in waiting from the election to the inauguration, they had said last year that they were going to release their donors, the people who paid for their operations for those 3 months. And they said they would do it, right away, and they haven't. They didn't, and they didn't, and they didn't, and they finally gave it up the day before Thanksgiving last week. So what we learned from that is a lot of the donors, we don't know who gave how much. We do know the names of some donors. Many of them are people who have been Trump donors for a long time, people like Howard Lutnick, Linda McMahon, people who are members of the cabinet now, and also some of Trump's longtime backers. So there was nobody really surprising on there, but I'd say two things. One, we don't know if it's the full list. There was nothing legally that stopped foreign governments or anybody from giving to this transition or nonprofit, and we don't know if we've seen the full list. And two, it shouldn't take them a year. In most administrations, they release it within weeks or months.
What did they have to gain from these? Was these donations? Was this purely altruistic?
No. I mean, maybe for some people it was altruistic, but for a lot of these folks, they were people who were hoping to get cabinet positions and later did get cabinet positions. Some of the folks were lobbyists, people that are going to be asking the Trump administration for help for their clients. So these are people who wanted something from Trump. Policy-wise or personally as some sort of job, and in some cases got it. So, we're in a presidency this transactional where donations are sort of explicitly said to get you something, I don't think you can look at these donations and say, well, this was people giving out of the goodness of their heart.
Is this typical of other administrations too?
It's not. In most cases, the law says that you can get federal money for your transition, to add on to whatever you raise from private sources. But if you take federal money, you have to disclose who your donors are. You have to cap donations at $5,000. And you also have to agree not to take foreign donations. And most presidents have done that, which means they got some taxpayer money, but also they disclosed right away. Trump didn't. And so that meant that he didn't legally have to disclose at all. He didn't have to say anything about his donors, but his folks said back then that they would do it. It just took them a year.
All right. The article is up at the New York Times, NewYorkTimes.com. David Farenthold, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, mainly cloudy right now. It'll also be cloudy this afternoon. Highs will be close to 45. Right now, it's about 38 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, after over a month, we are now hearing an official response from Auburn's mayor about a community leader she vouched for who pled guilty to child rape. We hear from Mayor Nancy Bacchus' statement next. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
One day, the words on the page blur. You hold the menu a little farther away. It's subtle until it's not. At Near and Far Vision Partners, we help you see clearly, near, far, and in between. Expert surgeons, advanced technology, sharper focus for every moment. Schedule your complimentary consultation at nearandfarvision.com or call 425-900-2414. Near and Far Vision Partners in Bothell.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this,
What if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Hurry, time's running out. Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select steel tools. Shop online or in-store.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. President Trump announced a new area that ICE will focus on. CBS's Nancy Cordes has more.
The more than 2-hour cabinet meeting touched on a variety of topics, from inflation.
The word affordability is a con job.
To immigration.
We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
The president stoking a new controversy with these comments about people who came to the U.S. from the African nation of Somalia.
I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country.
An official tells CBS News ICE is now planning to surge resources to the Minneapolis-St. Paul area to crack down on individuals there with deportation orders. And just a day after pop star Sabrina Carpenter warned the Trump administration to stop using her hit Juno or ex-post showing ICE agents arresting Latinos, the White House is using her man-child lyrics to respond.
The caption, anyone who would defend these sick monsters must be stupid, or is it slow? No word from Carpenter on whether she'll pursue legal action. She called the administration's video footage evil and disgusting. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
In Washington, one man is dead after being shot by Seattle police in the Rainier Valley neighborhood. A witness tells us she heard the shots.
And then all of a sudden, I just seen all these cars, the cops, officers, everybody flooding in and just blocking the roads.
Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes says the suspect was waving a handgun near the Othello light rail station around 1:30 yesterday afternoon.
One officer tried to negotiate or to de-escalate the situation. But again, a person with a weapon, time really is not on your side.
He says the man pointed his gun before officers shot him and killed him at the scene. A Washington State Patrol trooper is alive after a frightening crash on I-5. The trooper stepped out of his patrol car moments before another vehicle slammed into it. The driver who hit the patrol car is not suspected of impairment. Officials describe the injuries from the crash as minor. State Patrol is reminding drivers to slow down and move over when they see emergency vehicles on the shoulder. And now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Tacoma to Seattle, about 32 minutes right now. Puyallup to Renton, 22. Everett to Bellevue, about 21 minutes. Marysville to Seattle, about 35. And for your KIRO News Radio forecast, it'll be mainly cloudy today. Highs will be around 45. Right now, it's about 38 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
We told you in October how Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus wrote an email in 2022 that asked for leniency for a youth pastor who had just pleaded guilty to child rape.
Well, last night at a city council meeting, Backus made a statement on our report. Here are her comments in their entirety.
There was a media story that came out in October that included me
and others in the community that centered around a man named Joshua Headley. Before I continue, I want to say that my heart goes out to the survivor and to everyone this case may have hurt. What she has endured is unimaginable, and she deserves our full support and belief. I understand that this story may have reopened wounds for her and for others, and I am deeply sorry for any pain my actions in this may have caused. Now, the story itself has many irregularities, but I'm only going to address the portion that included me. I'll let the other parties involved decide whether they want to correct or clarify their portion of the story. For a timeline, around 2016, a young pastor named Josh Headley asked to meet with me. During that meeting, we talked about how he could give back to the community. I had been wanting to reestablish the faith-based roundtable and asked if Josh could help do that. He did, and those meetings began to occur monthly in late 2017. Those meetings were focused on how the churches in Auburn could assist with homelessness issues we were facing. Josh and the church he pastored, Revive, also helped out with National Day of Prayer after some of the other local pastors decided not to participate a couple of years later. In 2020, COVID devastated our world. People were dying, hurting, and communities were gathering to help. I was proud of Auburn for the way we faced the pandemic. Many of the churches were helping their parishioners and others with food baskets. Revive worked every weekend at the outlet collection to provide healthy food boxes for 200 to 300 families, and that continued for several months. They also did holiday toy giveaways for families in our community in need. On June 22nd, 2022, I received an email from Josh asking for my personal email account because he wanted to ask me a question. On October 12th, 2022, I sent a draft declaration of support for Josh from my personal email account to my city email account. In that draft, I did acknowledge that I was aware Josh was pleading guilty to an offense with a minor. I also mentioned Josh and Revive's work in our community and asked the judge to consider treatment for Josh as opposed to prison time. I do believe in restorative justice. And for me, restorative justice means that everyone involved in the crime is allowed to heal and grow. I have had no contact with Josh since the June 22nd, 2022 correspondence. I had no knowledge of his actions at that time. I had no knowledge of the sentencing or the imprisonment or anything else. In 2024, I read a copy of the police report regarding the case, and I was disgusted. I truly regret drafting the declaration and have said so many times. In 2025, this became political fodder, and a document filled with half-truths was distributed by those supporting some of my opponents based on some public records requests that included that draft declaration. On October 3rd, 2025, I received an email from a reporter asking questions about my actions. I responded on October 7th, 2025, and responded the following day to follow up clarifying questions. Since that time, our legal department has sifted through all public documents related to that case. The declaration is not part of the file. There has also been an independent public records request with those same results. The declaration is not part of the court case. Now, I remained silent during October and November because it was political. At least a portion of this was political, and I was not going to add to that. I have been asked when I was going to publicly make a comment. This tonight is my public comment, and it will be my only public comment moving forward.
Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus responding to our report.
Coming up next, we'll have national headlines. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO. News Radio 97.3 FM.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Get ready, because Murphy Auction is closing out the year with a massive Marysville equipment auction with the complete dispersal of AA rentals, 7 mini excavators, 17 skid steers, tractors, backhoes, telescopic forklifts, and over 100 gas-powered landscaping tools. Need something heavier? A John Deere 85G excavator, a Hitachi ZX290LC, a Cat CS563E roller, and 10 high-reach boom lifts, plus 3 big-time dump trucks hit the block, a 2018 Kenworth T880 Super Solo, a 2019 Peterbilt Quad Axle, and a 2005 Kenworth T800 Quad Axle, plus a fleet of 6 2017 to 2019 Peterbilt 567 tractors. Auction opens 10 a.m. Thursday, December 4th, and closes 10 a.m. Thursday, December 11th. Preview is Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 3803 136th Street Northeast in Marysville. Visit murphyauction.com for details.
CBS News Brief. It was a narrow victory for Matt Van Epps, the Republican vying for a congressional seat in a special election in Tennessee. He beat his Democratic opponent by 9 percentage points in a deep red district. UVA political analyst Larry Sabato.
It's good news for Republicans to win, but it's good news for Democrats because the margin is so small, and this is such a Republican district.
Trump administration's paused citizenship cases for hundreds of thousands of people from 19 different countries. Marissa Montez heads Loyola Law's School of Immigrant Justice Clinic.
I just wish the public remembers that this is impacting not only individuals, but families and people who really make up our community and societies locally.
CBS's Jared Hill on early winter weather.
Millions are dealing with the aftermath of the nation's first major storm of the winter season. At least half a foot of snow fell in the nation's interior from Ohio to New Hampshire.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast on this Wednesday morning, partly cloudy skies right now and through this afternoon. Highs will be around 45. It's about 38 right now in downtown Seattle. Coming up, Chris Sullivan with a choke point looking at the Federal Way Light Rail Station. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
All right, 8 more miles of light rail tracks are going to open to the public this weekend when service expands from Angle Lake south to downtown Federal Way.
About time, Sully.
Yeah, it is. Public transit advocates have been waiting for service to Federal Way since it was approved by voters under ST2 in 2008. Then, of course, came the housing bubble and the Great Recession, and plans for the extension were postponed and then folded into the new ST3, which was approved by voters in 2016. King County Council member Pete Von Reichbauer, who represents South King County, he admits he wasn't sure this was ever going to happen.
South King County's always felt it's the poor stepchild when it comes to transportation. This is the beginning of being accepted into the full family, whether we have recreational needs, going to the airport, going to work, going to see friends. This is finally linking South King County with the rest of King County.
The extension was supposed to open in 2024, but Sound Transit ran into soil issues along the route. The trains were supposed to run at grade along the freeway on I-5, but an eventual landslide erased those ideas. The project was delayed as engineers found a solution, which ended up being an elevated track through the problem area. If you drive I-5 regularly, you saw that right along the west side of I-5 as they figured out what to do there. Sound Transit then further delayed the opening until 2026, but then chose to speed it up with the continuing problems getting across Lake Washington on I-90. Somehow, CEO Dow Constantine still tries to sell this as ahead of schedule.
The fact that we're able to deliver it early and come in $500 million under budget is especially reassuring. We have a lot of challenges ahead, but we know that with each of these extensions, we're getting better and better at delivering what the people voted for.
Supposed to open in 2024, and now it's opening in 2025. Somehow that's ahead of schedule. But let me tell you how the math works at Sound Transit. You have someone, say, give you a contract to fix your kitchen, okay? They say it's going to take a month. And then about a month in, they're like, oh, it's going to take 9 months. And then they're like, oh, but we finished at 8, so it's a month ahead of schedule. That's not how scheduling works. As for the fuzzy math that Constantine is pushing on the project, the original price tag was pitched at $2 to $2.5 million. It ballooned at one point to almost $3 billion. And then it settled back near the top of the original estimates. So it came in about budget. So I'm not sure where we're going with that. But again, that's where we are in the truth of this thing. And let's not forget, as a whole, Sound Transit is running tens of billions over budget with no solid plans on how to fill the gap to build what was promised under ST3. But for all its problems, adding 3 new stations and service down to Federal Way is a good thing.
This is going to be a very big deal for our South King County cities, all the people who work or play in other parts of the region.
Light rail riders will have to wait at least another decade before the line extends down to the Tacoma Dome, also something approved by voters in 2016. Board member and show favorite, Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus.
I'm not the most patient of people, so I'd like to see it all done now, but it takes time, it takes money, and it takes effort, and it takes vision. And I'm really proud to be on the board who had the vision of ST3 to make sure that there is mobility around this region.
The Tacoma Dome link still in the planning phases, service scheduled to start in 2035. As for light rail over Lake Washington, test trains are supposed to start going across the floating bridge soon. Service from Seattle to Bellevue was supposed to start in the middle of 2023. Sound Transit had to rip up the original tracks because of flaws in the supports. It's supposed to start service sometime early next year, which would put that part of the project almost 3 years behind schedule.
Aren't those test trains supposed to be going across the floating bridge already?
Well, they did one where they pulled, and now they've added a couple of trains that they're doing some things overnight this week, where they're adding them to the one line to prepare for what happened when they go. Whether or not they're going over the lake, I haven't been able to confirm yet this week, but that's something that does have to happen before they can start operating service there across the lake. Again, it's never been done in human history to run a train over a floating body of water.
That'll be fascinating to watch. Where do things stand with the big picture here? Because we're $20-30 billion in the red, and there are these promises that we're going to bring stations to West Seattle. We're going to bring it, I think, Ballard.
Yep.
And you know,
to north to Everett, too.
And south to Tacoma at some point, right?
2035. And up to Everett by 2041. These are all things that were promised under ST3 2016. And as you saw, they raised the property taxes already, which is something they could do without voter approval or legislative approval. That's the way that it was written in the legislature when they created the RTA, the Regional Taxing Authority. And so now they're floating, what can we do for an ST4 to basically make up for these things all being way over budget, and they're in the process of trying to figure that out. The West Seattle station is ballooned like 4 or 5 $1 billion. It's almost $10 billion now to get to West Seattle. And they're not sure how they're going to do it or how they're going to bridge that gap, or whether or not it's time to just say, okay, we can do what we can do. However, the voters who did vote for this in 2016, again, it wasn't close in Seattle. People in King County really voted for it because they get most of the benefit. Pierce County rejected ST3. Snohomish County narrowly approved it. So I'm not sure where we go. But, yeah, there are tens of billions of dollars in the red for trying to finish projects that voters said they wanted for $54 billion. It's now way north of 100. And where they're going to get the money, I'm looking at it. You, Amanda, David, Brady, Katrina, Luke. Yeah.
And that money translates, I don't have it in front of me, but that's tens of thousands for every person living in the regional taxing authority.
Again, if you want your tabs redone in King, Pierce, or Snohomish County, the RTA is part of it. And again, I've been paying for it, and I've ridden light rail twice out of Linwood. And so I'm not sure what my return on investment is.
Well, at least
not very good.
Light rail is going to help reduce traffic.
No, that was never the goal. If you remember how they pitched it for Sound Transit 3, it was never meant to reduce traffic because only 3% of the population is ever going to use it. So, yeah.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, cloudy skies today. Highs will be around 45. Right now, it's about 38 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, more of the day's top stories here on Seattle's Morning News. I'm Katrina Kashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse for the 37th annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
2026 Mariners season ticket memberships are on sale now. Catch Cal, Julio, and the crew at T-Mobile Park with year-round savings, no ticket fees, and more. You've got two great options. Reserved memberships let you lock in the best locations in the ballpark, whether you want to catch 20 games or the whole season. Or go with a flex membership and choose your seats, games, and number of tickets as you go.
There it goes! Storybook season by Cal Raleigh.
Come on board today at mariners.com/26.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
This is Ricky Rubio, point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
And I'm Holly Robinson Peete, actor and along with Ricky, ambassador for Delivering Jobs. We know that a job is empowering and instills confidence. Yet 81% of adults with developmental differences don't have a paid job, even though companies that employ people with differences report better morale and higher productivity.
There are 6.5 million people in the U.S. with an intellectual or developmental difference such as autism.
And now, thanks to Autism Speaks, Best Buddies, the Holly Rod Foundation, and Special Olympics, there has never been more opportunity to improve hiring practices and build a more inclusive workforce. Join me, Ricky Rubio, and these amazing organizations in supporting and creating pathways to 1 million employment and leadership opportunities for this talented community.
Visit deliveringjobs.org to learn more.
That's deliveringjobs.org.
Get ready, because Murphy Auction is closing out the year with a massive Marysville equipment auction with the complete dispersal of AA rentals, 7 mini excavators, 17 skid steers, tractors, backhoes, telescopic forklifts, and over 100 gas-powered landscaping tools. Need something heavier? A John Deere 85G excavator, a Hitachi ZX290LC, a Cat CS563E roller, and 10 high-reach boom lifts, plus 3 big-time dump trucks hit the block, a 2018 Kenworth, G880 Super Solo, a 2019 Peterbilt quad axle, and a 2005 Kenworth G800 quad axle, plus a fleet of 6 2017 to 2019 Peterbilt 567 tractors. Auction opens 10 a.m. Thursday, December 4th, and closes 10 a.m. Thursday, December 11th. Preview is Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 3803 136th Street Northeast in Marysville. Visit murphyauction.com for details.
For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The Department of Homeland Security says a new immigration enforcement crackdown is underway in the New Orleans area. WWL's Dave Cohen is there.
Homeland Security has dubbed this Operation Catahoula Crunch, and Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry's in full support.
While it is true that America is a country of immigrants, it is also a country of laws.
Landry says he welcomes hundreds of Border Patrol agents to the state,
helping make America and Louisiana safe again.
Local immigration advocates have been advising immigrants to lay low in Greater New Orleans for the time being. Dave Cohen for CBS News, New Orleans.
The president's pick in a Tennessee special congressional election, Matt Van Apps, has beaten his Democratic rival, Afton Bain.
Tonight we showed running from Trump is how you lose. Running with Trump is how you win.
UVA political analyst Larry Sabato.
It's good news for Republicans to win, but it's good news for Democrats because the margin is so small, and this is such a Republican district.
Van App's margin of victory, just 9 percentage points. The president's special envoys, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, left an almost 5-hour meeting with Vladimir Putin in Moscow with no breakthrough on a peace deal. Russia says talks will continue. Correspondent Holly Williams is in Ukraine.
Every Ukrainian we've spoken to here this week desperately wants the war to stop. But many are opposed to a peace deal that's imposed by the U.S. that forces them to hand over territory and wouldn't stop Vladimir Putin from invading again in the future.
Ukrainian President Zelensky says his top negotiator will meet with Witkoff and Kushner in the U.S. Fresh off the first big snowstorm of the season, some parts of the country are headed into a deep freeze. CBS New York meteorologist Tony Sadiku.
Tomorrow morning, record-challenging air temperatures, cold. This is just going to be brutal out there. Minneapolis feels like 15, Duluth feels like 22, even Green Bay, double-digit feels below zero. That stretches into the East Coast coming up on Friday morning. It's going to be a bitterly cold finish to the week.
They're already zipping around L.A., San Francisco, Atlanta, and Phoenix. Today, self-driving robo-taxis hit the streets of Dallas, and they won't stop there. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
Uber says its plan is to have autonomous vehicles deployed on its Uber network in at least 10 cities by the end of 2026.
Dow futures are up 95. NASDAQ futures ahead, 48. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
It's 6:03 Wednesday morning. Let's check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And we're starting in the red on the Valley Freeway. We've been working with a crash on northbound 167 approaching 212th in Kent. And it's been over on the right-hand side, right lane, right shoulder, and we are backed up pretty significantly now. It's a 20-minute delay, 40 minutes already from Auburn into Renton, hour and 10 all the way. So that's because of the slowing in Pacific. So not exactly a great drive. Federal Way to Seattle's taking a little bit of diversion, but it's running at 40 minutes now, which is certainly manageable. Then Renton to Bellevue is about 20 minutes, probably a little under. Olympia to Tacoma, some brake lights in Nisqually, but it's okay. Under 40 to make the drive to Tacoma. Looks like we got a conked out semi on southbound I-5 just south of Marysville over on the right shoulder. Not causing a huge backup. We've got a 20-minute delay 20-minute drive from the Arlington area down into Everett. And then after that, it's only 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance, which is installing the most dependable home comfort solutions, including the Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning systems. Call the comfort people, homecomfortalliance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning, it's 6:04. Thanks for joining us. One of the nation's most notorious serial killers, Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, is reportedly near death in the Walla Walla prison.
Now the one-time lead detective on the case is sharing his thoughts about Ridgway's health and his victims, and we get the update live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Former King County Sheriff Dave Reichert, who spent decades hunting Ridgway, confirmed with KIRO 7 TV Ridgway, who's now 76 years old, is receiving end-of-life care at a state prison.
Almost a year ago, I saw a photo of him in a wheelchair. He didn't look too healthy then.
Ridgway was arrested back in 2001. He had later confessed to killing nearly 50 women across western Washington. He avoided the death penalty by helping investigators locate additional victims. Reichert says while it was difficult, he ultimately agreed with that deal to spare Ridgway's life because the victims' families at the time, they still wanted answers.
He's an evil monster who invaded our lives here in Washington State. You don't forget collecting the bodies of little girls in various forms of decomposition.
And finally, speaking of those families, Reichert says that's where his focus is right now, not on how Ridgway is doing.
Because every time this case comes up, they have, it just brings up everything.
Charlie, you interviewed Ridgway, who is serving a life sentence now inside the penitentiary in Walla Walla. Your reaction, I'm curious, to the news of his declining health.
I think for the families right now, we have a lot of them listening. So many families in Western Washington affected. And my hope is, I know they will never get closure, but my hope is that they can at least turn the page here.
Great. Thanks very much. We're going to have more and the latest on this story throughout the morning, but that is the latest so far on Ridgway's health.
Okay, thank you for that, Luke. It's 6:06 now. This comes as Seattle police killed a man. This happened yesterday afternoon in Seattle's Rainier Valley neighborhood. This comes after he allegedly pointed a gun at officers.
We get the details this morning from KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
The 911 call came in about 1:30 Tuesday afternoon. A shirtless man brandishing a handgun near MLK Way and Othello near the light rail station. Police arrived within 2 minutes. SPD Chief Sean Barnes tells us what happened next.
Officers attempted to communicate with him, attempted to negotiate with him, at which time the person pointed the weapon and the officers dispatched their weapons.
As Seattle police officers were involved, the King County Force Investigation Team will handle the investigation. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A state patrol trooper is alive after a frightening crash on I-5.
Trooper stepped out of his patrol car moments before another vehicle slammed into it. Driver who hit the patrol car not suspected of impairment. Officials describe the injuries from the crash as minor. State Patrol reminds drivers slow down and move over when they see emergency vehicles on the shoulder.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
And away we go for Wednesday, December 3rd.
Great to have you along with us. I'm Charlie Harger. That's Manda Factor. Sully is here checking traffic on the 3s. Sully, that crash with the State Patrol trooper, that was exit 164. 164 is like, where is that?
That's exit on which highway?
Highway
I-5. That's right in the middle of downtown.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of downtown.
Jeez, you got to move over for those. For sure. All right. Nick Krasha, you are back. I hope you're feeling better, buddy.
Oh, I was actually better to be back now because I was waiting in the courtroom to see if I was going to get picked for a jury or not.
Okay.
The trial luckily fell through, so I don't have to wait any longer after yesterday.
Thank you for trying to do your civic duty.
Yeah, I've done jury duty. It was great.
Oh, yeah. Well, the waiting room is not very fun.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right about that.
We missed you. Welcome back.
Welcome back. David Burbank is here. We also have Katrina Gishard out in the newsroom.
And this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawlspace and Pest Control.
Coming up this hour of the show, our weekly visit with meteorologist Scott Sistek with his extended forecast for December. Could we see snow this Christmas? We'll ask Scott about it.
Also, CBS Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes will break down the president's latest verbal attacks on Democratic lawmakers and one on her as well.
6:09 now. The owner of a hookah lounge where the customer was shot and killed Monday came before a hearing examiner Tuesday morning for repeated violations of Seattle's late-night business ordinance. Here's KIRO News Radio's James Lynch.
Evan Gotti Hookah Lounge owner Faru Berja asked for the hearing to contest 3 citations for violations of the late-night business ordinance, basically operating an after-hours establishment without a liquor license and an after-hours nightlife permit. Berja says he applied for the license and wants to be in compliance.
I am applying it. I am paying for it. I'm following the procedure. But if somebody is not providing me, so what do I do?
Berja says he will continue business as usual because he was told he could while his application is pending. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
A wild chase was caught on camera after a woman in Puyallup realized her purse was missing Monday. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
She started getting real-time fraud alerts from her bank. So she headed to the Home Depot where that fraudulent activity was being attempted, and from there flagged down an officer. And as that officer tried to make contact with the suspect, he took off running through the parking lot.
My suspect's running up front doors of Home Depot. Please stop!
That officer chasing him outside and across the parking lot, eventually ending up at a nearby restaurant, catching up to him there, and then taking him into custody without further incident.
The woman's purse, along with the keys to her car, home, and business, were all recovered.
We're hearing from the 88-year-old woman who was robbed and had her finger bit off at her South Seattle home. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao.
Emmett Cotton is staying strong after being brutally attacked on her porch in October. Cotton says he wanted her rings.
He could have them. My life was more important than rings. I can always get my wedding ring back, but I couldn't get my life back.
But when he went for one more ring,
he taken my hand and had it in his mouth. And that's when I started scratching his face with this hand. And he just kept biting it until he got the ring off.
Her finger bitten off, bones broken, and face bleeding.
Seattle police are still searching for the suspect. Crime Stoppers offering a $1,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest.
An update this morning on the woman who drowned after driving on the beach near Ocean Shores. The Grace Harbor coroner has now identified the woman as 39-year-old Itzel Perez of Tacoma. Waves overtook her vehicle, and deputies found her November 20th. The coroner called it a tragic accident. Perez attended Sammamish High School and later studied at the University of Washington. According to the News Tribune, her sister wrote online that Perez's life was defined by kindness and vibrance, not tragedy.
Amazon is testing a new ultra-fast delivery service for urgent, high-demand items in parts of Seattle.
Amazon says its Amazon Now service can get you essential household items and groceries in 30 minutes or less. Things like milk, eggs, produce, toothpaste, diapers, electronics, and over-the-counter medicines, among other things. Amazon Prime members will get discounted delivery fees starting at $3.99 per order, $10 lower than for non-Prime members. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
It's now 6:12, and that's time for a check on the weather. It's brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors, and time to say good morning to KIRO 7 TV's meteorologist Nick Allard. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. This morning we have a lot of cloud cover, which is good because it's helped to limit some of the fog, but there is still some fog around Olympia and still some fog around like Lake Stevens to Arlington, and I don't know if that had anything to do with what's happening on an SR9 right now, but there's some issues there, and it's pretty foggy. We'll continue to see clouds increasing, and there is a little moisture on the radar closer to places like Port Angeles and Forks, and eventually, especially around Everett North, there might just be a few sprinkles later this morning, but I don't really think you'd see much more than just a few raindrops or some drizzle, mist. But, you already have, where you have fog, a cloud on the ground, and so a weak wave on top of that just gives it a little bit of pressure and adds a little moisture to it, and you just get sprinkles, mist, drizzle, light rain. But that's it. The rest of the day does look dry. It's just for the morning, and it's just brief and isolated, and then we're just looking cloudy or mostly cloudy in the mid-40s. Overnight, though, we do see some rain, and around this time tomorrow, it will be raining and kind of raining all day until late afternoon. afternoon with highs in the upper 40s and low 50s. And then Friday looks showery and breezy with scattered showers Saturday. Not as wet as it originally looked, with rain increasing Sunday. And then it just gets heavy on Monday and Tuesday. And unfortunately, snow levels are mainly going to be above the passes. It'll be a little bit lower on Sunday, around 4,500 feet, but this is going to mean more rain for the passes, which is not great news since Snoqualmie and Stevens were just mentioning how they can't open the way that they were hoping to.
Hey, Nick, we have our weekly conversation with Scott Sista coming up in 2 minutes. Let me ask you this. What
did
do
he
you
ask
think,
about me?
Of course
did
we
he
did.
mention my hair?
Smooches for you.
Okay, good.
What do you think he's going to say about the odds of us having a white Christmas?
Let's see. Today is December 3rd. I'm going to go probably slim to none, lower than 20%. Yet, if you look at the computer models in 13 days or something, it makes it cold enough for it, but I don't buy it.
I think he's going to say, why do you people always ask me that? I don't
Exactly. Because that's what I'd like to say, because you can't answer that officially, but Scott is a genius. He's a genie in a bottle.
I'm not going to finish it.
Like that.
I wanted to see if you'd take Christina Aguilera and run with it, but move on.
Okay, we're moving on. Thanks, Nick. It's cloudy and 45 in Seattle right now.
Let's check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
And Nick mentioned it. Both directions of SR9 are blocked in Snohomish. Trying to get a handle on exactly what we're dealing with there, but and exactly where it is. It's just south of the Highway 2 interchange, but not quite down to the roundabout there at Bickford. So I could use a little help from my KIRO drivers who might be stuck in this. But at this point, all lanes of SR9 are blocked in both directions there in Snohomish. As for the rest of the map, not too bad up there. We do have brake lights getting through Marysville. We had a stalled semi over on the right shoulder as we work our way through out of Marysville. We got about a 22-minute trip from Arlington to Everett, and then about 40 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Big issue on northbound 167, continuing to struggle past the scene of a crash out of Kent at 212th there. We have about, we're going to put it at about a 3.5 mile backup and a 20-minute delay. We've got 40 minutes out of Auburn and an hour and 10 minutes all the way from Puyallup. Better way to Seattle, about 42 as well. The lake bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Prepare to be enchanted. Mentalists and illusionists, the Clairvoyants, come to the Emerald Queen December 4th for a holiday spectacular. The Clairvoyants, December 4th, only at the Emerald Queen Casino.
It's now 6:15. Well, Sabrina Carpenter is going after the White House. KIRO Newsradio's Katrina Gishard is here to tell us why.
Sully may not be familiar with this hit song. But the Grammy winner is upset with the White House for using her hit song Juno in a video montage depicting ICE raids. Carpenter responded on X saying the video is evil and disgusting. Do not ever involve me or my music to benefit your inhumane agenda. And now the White House is using her man-child lyrics to respond. The caption says, anyone who would defend those sick monsters must be stupid or is it slow? There's no word yet if Carpenter will pursue legal action.
Thanks, Katrina. 6:16 now.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Time for our weekly conversation with Scott Sista from the Emerald City Weather blog, emeraldcityweather.com.
All right, Scott, you are saying we have multiple atmospheric weather events headed our way, and Charlie has a very important question about that.
So let's start with just what the atmospheric rivers are, and then we're going to talk about like how much water we're talking about. But let's first of all talk about atmospheric rivers. What's on the way here?
Right, because you hear that story, you hear that term quite a bit, especially recently. It's kind of become a favorite term in the media here and amongst meteorologists. And it basically describes a weather pattern where you get a long fetch of moisture that is tapped into like the tropics. So in our case, it taps into like moisture around the Pacific Ocean, right around the tropics there. That moisture is warm and there's quite a bit of it. And then it's like a conveyor belt. It shifts it from down in the tropics, pulls it up across the ocean and then kind of aims it right at the Pacific Northwest. And so we call it an atmospheric river because it looks like a river on the map, but it is almost literally like a river of moisture that goes from the tropics straight up into our area. And so we're looking at multiple ones happening starting right around this weekend, and then maybe getting stronger with more of them as we get into next week.
And when we talk about this, Scott, how much How much water are we talking about that may be falling on the Seattle area when you say it's an atmospheric river?
Right. Well, in the skies, when the moisture that's being transported from the tropics up to here in an atmospheric river, it can contain as much water as 25 times the entire volume of the Mississippi River.
What?
So think of how much water is in the Mississippi, and the Mississippi goes from, I don't know, I forget where it starts, like Minnesota all the way down to the Gulf.
Yeah.
And all that water, and they're talking 25 times that amount. So that's the amount of water vapor and moisture that these can carry from start to finish. So that is a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. And it's why when we get the really big atmospheric rivers, we have a lot of concern, because think about, okay, that means there's going to be a lot of rainfall. And since it's tropical moisture, it's not cold rain either, it's warm rain. So that usually pushes up the snow levels. And then all that water is falling as rain in the mountains, and then it's running off into the rivers. So we don't get like the nice big safety of it falling as snow and sticking in the mountains. It just runs right off into the rivers. Some atmospheric rivers are on the lighter side and actually helpful and beneficial. And then some of them are getting to be too strong. The ones for this week, we kind of start on the beneficial side. They're not too bad. It'll be wet and kind of warm, but not like super rainy. And then as we get later into the weekend into next week, that's when we're looking at some stronger storms that when you combine with the earlier storms, you put them all together, and now we're putting some pressure on our rivers.
So do we have concerns of flooding yet?
Yeah, it's a little early yet. Nothing in the short term. I think we'll make it like through the weekend fine into early next week, probably okay. It's probably middle to late next week where we'll start having to really keep an eye on our area rivers, because by then we will have had, 2-3 of these storms move through here. So the way I had written it was the storms individually aren't too intense, aren't too impactful, but just the additive nature of it, just that they're having a bunch in succession. Like the one storm comes in, the water runs down into the rivers. We don't really get enough of a break to let that water flow through until here comes the next storm to kind of add on top of it. And then especially like the third and the fourth storms really add more on top of it. And that's where we're kind of really keeping an eye on for next week. So kind of an early heads up.
So we are in the start of what's called meteorological winter. That's December 1 through February 1, right, Scott?
February 28th.
February 28th. Give us an idea. When do you start getting concerned about the snowpack and not enough mountain snow?
I mean, we've still got time. It's still early in the season, but I was really hoping that we would be better off than we are now. We've been talking about La Nina for a few months here, and usually La Nina winters tend to be a pretty good snow producer in the mountains. And this winter so far is like nothing up there. There's only like a few inches at best. And that's because we've been having so many of these mild storms. We've had plenty of moisture. If you look at the rainfall totals, we're pretty close to average right now, at least in the recent month or two. A little below, but pretty close. But all of that is not really falling as snow. It's been so warm. We've heard the term atmospheric river, and people are like, you use this all the time. Isn't that just when it rains? It's like, no, there are specific storms that have to meet the criteria for atmospheric river. We're not just banding this term about like willy-nilly like all the time. It's just that all of the storms in November and this season have been atmospheric rivers. We've just had a whole bunch of them. So that's why it's been wet, but it's been warm, and why the skiers are kind of like, where's our snow? And then looking ahead, the next 2 weeks, we had talked last week a lot about here comes cold weather, here comes a big cold snap. That didn't really happen, as you noticed. Look out the window, it's not too different. And so most of that cold air went east. So now the long range with these atmospheric rivers coming in is still kind of mild, wet, but mild. So skiers, not a lot of good news, at least through the middle of December.
Well, here's a question that meteorologists always love to get. Are we going to have a white Christmas?
We're 3 weeks out, Scott.
It's three. Is it only 3 weeks now? Oh my goodness.
I know. Get your shopping done.
I mean, the odds are against us in any given year. It's statistically, it's every 13 years. It's a 7% chance, just any given year. Statistical odds, 7 out of 100. So that works out to about 13 years. I think the last one was 2007. I should have looked this up, but we're probably due. And I feel like La Nina's got to come to us at some point. At some point, you got to think that we'll take probably. I think at some point, the ridge that's been keeping us warm, if that moves over, then we get the cold air that's been going east. So that's what we kind of thought was going to be happening this first couple of weeks. It's not. But if it just needs to shift back a little bit, maybe mid to late December, we can start getting into the cold air fun, and maybe we can time something up for Christmas.
And so bigger picture though, Scott, we join you every week and we talk about the weather. We might have a better picture, I'm imagining, by next week when we visit.
Yeah, we'll probably by then have Christmas will be right at the edge of the 2-week, 15-day forecast models, which is like very dangerous looking at those models out there, because you can find some spectacular forecasts that will never come close. I mean, I wrote a blog about, like, on November 14th, it showed 7.5 inches would have been on the ground here by last Sunday. Obviously that didn't pan out. It was one model and gone. But yeah, who knows? By then, next week we may see a model that says, hey, there's going to be 12 inches of snow on Christmas. And then everybody freaks out. And the next day it's like, nope, back to 52 and mostly cloudy.
Emerald City Weather blog, emeraldcityweather.com. Scott Sistek, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
It's now 6:23. That's time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes, and Chris Sullivan is watching the roads.
If your plans take you through Snohomish on SR9, find a different route at this point and don't look back. We've got both directions of the highway blocked just south of SR2, but not quite to the roundabout there at Bickford. So both directions, as I said, are blocked, and people are being detoured out and around. Trying to get a better understanding from State Patrol exactly what we're dealing with here. But again, this is just in the Snohomish City area there, right as you work your way past Highway 9 and SR2. Rest of the map. What do you expect for Wednesday morning? The most unusual slowing, northbound 167 out of Kent. We've been working with a crash near 212 that's really put us behind 40 minutes out of Auburn, and an hour and 10 all the way from Puyallup. That is 20 minutes behind. Rest of the map, not bad. Under 20 from Renton to Bellevue. About 45 now from Federal Way to Seattle. Heaviest part of that drive is getting up past the Kent-Des Moines Road. Out of the Everett area, we're looking at about 42 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Superior Linen Service. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service, help your company look good with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, and more. SUPLinen.com.
And we're looking for a high today in the mid-40s. Mostly dry. Rain returns tomorrow.
Hey, 1 week from today, KIRO News Radio is celebrating 37 years of holiday magic. You can tune in December 10th for our Day of Giving to hear incredible stories, meet the guests, and learn how you can help make the season brighter. Learn more at mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic or text the word magic to 888-973-5476.
Well, coming up, we'll have KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on Mayor-elect Katie Wilson's picks for her advisors.
Also, the opening bell report here on Seattle's Morning News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
Hi, this is Keith Dashafi, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. If your home is bracing for cold drafts, frosty glass, or that one window that just won't open, it might be time for an upgrade. Right now, treat your home with 40% off qualifying installs or 24 months of 0% interest with equal payments. It's the gift your house actually wants, because it definitely didn't ask for another inflatable snowman. With premium products, expert installation, and local service that feels like family, we'll get your home holiday ready. Visit PellaPNW.com today.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind in the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Hey, it's Brock Heward. My family did it, and it saved us thousands. You got to do it. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It's free. See how much First Mark can save you and how much better coverage you can get. They work for you. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning, it's 6:31. We're getting a better picture of who will be helping Seattle Mayor-elect Katie Wilson run Seattle.
Wilson has named part of her leadership team when she takes office in January. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey here with the latest. Luke?
So Wilson is tapping a mix of City Hall veterans and longtime allies. Let's start with those veterans. Her deputy mayor is going to be Brian Surratt. Surratt used to run the city's Office of Economic Development under former mayor Ed Murray. He was a key negotiator in raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour here in Seattle. And then there is the current deputy executive director of the Seattle Housing Authority, Jen Chan. She is going to oversee all department heads in the city. So Wilson's plan there is to consolidate all the different silos in the city under one person to get them all kind of, marching to the same drum beat and to boost collaboration. That's the idea. And then there's a long list of Wilson allies as well. Kate Brunette-Kreuzer will serve as Wilson's chief of staff. She comes to the city from FutureWise, an organization focused on land use advocacy. She was also the treasurer for Wilson's Transit Riders Union. She's going to oversee communications, office policy, and innovation. Wilson also announced several other hires, including her budget director, communications director, and communication relations director, and a policy director. They're all a mix, again, of city staffers and newbies to government. Now, Wilson has still not said whether she will keep Police Chief Sean Barnes. We still can't get a clear indication from her campaign staff either. But again, she's going to take office January 1st. We'll probably know either by then or shortly after then what she's going to do with the police department.
A lot of work ahead. Thank you, Luke. It's now 6:32.
As the health of Green River killer Gary Ridgway declines, a former King County sheriff and Green River Task Force detective is thinking about the case. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke with Dave Reichert.
He's an evil monster who invaded our lives here in Washington State.
The effort of tracking him down and finding the bodies of his victims is something Reichert still thinks about.
You don't forget collecting the bodies of little girls in various forms of decomposition.
Ridgway was arrested by the Green River Task Force in 2001 and convicted in 2003 for murdering nearly 50 women.
Ridgway is now 76, serving a life sentence at the state pen in Walla Walla.
Time for traffic on the threes. 6:33. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we continue to work with the full blockage of Highway 9 right there in Snohomish, just south of Highway 2 there as you work your way. Both directions blocked just south of there. It's not quite down to the roundabout, but we have big time delays there in and around that entire area. Still waiting to get a little bit more information from State Patrol exactly what we're dealing with, but that is a no-go for you at this point. As for the Valley Freeway, we have cleared the crash that we've been dealing with most of the morning. There at 212 coming out of Kent. Travel time has come back down to normal, about 30 minutes out of Auburn and an hour from Puyallup, and then Renton to Bellevue is about 22 minutes. We do have brake lights north of Highway 18 coming up I-5 through Federal Way. About 48 to 50 minutes now to make that drive up into Seattle, with 30 of those minutes into South Center. Coming down from the north end, very heavy through Marysville again today. We have stalled truck over on the right-hand side as you get past Union Slough. We've got about a 30-minute trip from Arlington to Everett, then about 45 from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repairs earned local trust with honest pricing, guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
We're going to stay dry for the most part today. Maybe a few peaks of sunshine, but mostly cloudy and 45 today. And then here comes the rain again tomorrow. Looks pretty wet. 47-hour high, 90% chance of rain, about a quarter inch expected. Then on Friday, we'll taper back off to showers for Friday and Saturday. Highs back into the low 50s. Sunday, the rain's going to pick up again. Right now, it's cloudy and 45 in Seattle.
And at 6:35, it's time for the opening bell report. The numbers on Cyber Monday are coming in.
Adobe Analytics says U.S. shoppers spent $14.25 billion. That's over 7% more than Cyber Monday last year. Forbes is calling it the biggest online shopping day of all time in the U.S. Adobe data showed strong discounts prompted shoppers to purchase higher-priced electronics, sporting goods, and appliances. Consumers dealing with higher prices overall due to tariffs and inflation were looking for good bargains. Heather Bosch, KIRO News Radio.
Boeing expects to deliver more jets in 2026 as supply chain issues ease. The company's CFO also expects positive cash flow next year. Reuters reports that hasn't happened since late 2023. Boeing delivered 737s at a slower pace this year, but the company says production is stabilizing and demand remains strong. Tuesday's remarks pushed Boeing stock up 10%.
We continue to follow Costco's lawsuit against the Trump administration over the tariff policy. Costco argues the president exceeded his authority and is looking for a full refund of duties it's paid so far, as well as a block on more payments while the case works its way through the court system. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
There's a December 15th deadline. It's approaching in less than 2 weeks here, where even if the Supreme Court rules that the White House and the president did not have the authority, these companies that have paid tariffs this year may not get the money back. And that's really what is at the heart of this. Costco is concerned they haven't been able to put a stay on that December 15th date. So even if, the Supreme Court says, hey, this wasn't right, Costco's worried they're not going to get the money back.
Ivers is bringing its seafood to Gig Harbor. The Seattle-based company plans to open a seafood bar there in February. It'll be on Point Fosdick Drive in a space once home to Lunchbox Laboratory. That spot's been empty for 18 months. Ivers president Bob Donegan tells the Puget Sound Business Journal they've wanted a Gig Harbor location for 15 years. He says the deal finally came together after rent negotiations last month.
Well, in Leavenworth, the town's adventure park has posted a video on Instagram showing its roller coaster ride through a snowy Cascade scenery. If you have not been on this, I think they opened it last year.
I'm going this weekend. I'm so excited.
Did you get your tickets? Did you reserve these?
No.
Oh, you got to do this way ahead of time, Amanda.
Really? Even on a Wednesday? Am I too late now?
I certainly knew. We went there from like Friday through Sunday. It was sold out Friday, sold out Saturday, sold out Sunday. So order them ahead of time.
I will, but I can't wait.
And don't make too much noise. It's really annoying on the Leavenworth Golf Course just down the road. All you can do is hear screaming on the back nine. That's all you hear.
Golfing in the snow right now?
Well, why not?
That's something Sully would
You don't?
All right. Seattle's historic Maritime Building is getting new life on the waterfront. 3 new tenants will move in next year, filling the last retail space. It's been largely vacant since the pandemic. The 114-year-old landmark sits on Western Avenue, right near Pier 53. It'll have 7 retail tenants in all, covering nearly 25,000 square feet. The building earned landmark status in 2016.
New York Times reporting there could be a big change when it comes to fuel efficiency and vehicles.
President Trump's expected today to lay out new fuel economy standards to replace very ambitious standards laid out by the Biden administration. This was expected, as Mr. Trump had already suspended fines for not meeting current standards. The president says he's trying to eliminate things that make vehicles less affordable.
Jeff Gilbert reports 3 Detroit representatives are expected to be on hand as the new standards are announced at a White House ceremony.
Well, trading is underway on Wall Street and stocks are mixed so far. Dow up 73 at 47,547. S&P 500 is down about 6 and the NASDAQ is down 105.
At 6:39, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
We're taking a look at the full closure of Highway 9 in the north end of Snohomish. We'll break it down for you next.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO Newsradio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO Newsradio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host pack.
If you're wearing glasses or contacts, but you need reading glasses or bifocals now, you need to join Doctors Kopstein and King for the K2 Vision RLE live webinar this Thursday at noon to learn about refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE. This free webinar is a perfect opportunity to meet the doctors and have them answer all your questions about K2 Vision RLE. Questions like, how much does RLE cost? Is financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE? These questions and lots more will be covered this Thursday at noon during the K2 Vision RLE free live webinar. K2 Vision surgeons have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Plus, no more cataracts. Don't miss the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
What's your holiday tradition? For me, it's gathering with loved ones, sharing stories, laughter, and a meal that brings everyone together. It's a moment of joy, connection, and comfort. It's G. Scott here. For too many families in our community, this tradition is slipping away. Rising costs, tough times, and uncertainty means some neighbors won't have the same chance to enjoy a holiday meal. That's where we can make a difference. When you shop at Safeway, please consider donating to Nourishing Neighbors. This program provides grocery cards to families across Washington, distributed through food pantries, schools, and community centers, so people can shop with dignity and choose the foods that make their holidays special. It's not just about food. It's about restoring hope, pride in the ability to celebrate. Your donation helps ensure every neighbor has a place at the table this season. So next time you're at Safeway, take a moment to give. Visit NourishingNeighbors.com to learn more. That's NourishingNeighbors.com. Together, we can nourish everyone and make sure no one is left out this holiday season.
Hey, Brock Heward here. Taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge could save your family a lot of money. It saved us thousands. First Mark works for you. Search in the carriers for lower rates and better coverage. If that sounds smart, go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
6:43 now. Chris Sullivan is watching traffic on the 3s.
And we have a full closure to tell you about in the Snohomish area, city of Snohomish. We're looking at SR9 being blocked in both directions, just about a half mile south of SR2 and just north of the roundabout there as you get out where you get to Bickford. So big time delays in and around the area. Don't have any estimate yet on when they're going to get that to reopen or exactly what they're dealing with yet. Have a calls out to the state patrol to try to figure out what we're dealing with. And because of that, a lot of people are now sticking with Highway 2, heading over to I-5 via the trestle, and it's pretty thick there. Coming down from Marysville, we do have brake lights in and around the area there, but a 30-minute trip from Arlington to Everett's about 12 minutes behind schedule, and then 45 to 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. It's not too bad yet coming down from Everett. Looking at northbound 167, struggling through Pacific, that's nothing new. We do have brake lights north of Auburn, but the crash we had north of Kent is out of the way. 30 minutes out of Auburn, hour and 5 all the way from Puyallup, so still behind schedule by about 12 or 15. And then Renton to Bellevue is running about 25 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is running right around 50. We have 30 minutes up through South Center, almost get into 30 from South Center, but it's not as bad past the West Seattle Bridge as it could be at this time of day. Northbound I-5 through the Lacey area is not terrible. You got about 42 minutes to get you up into the into Tacoma, and some brake lights up the hill to 18. The Lake Bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by D.R. Horton. Move-in ready homes from D.R. Horton, America's builder. Across Puget Sound in Central Washington. Find yours at drhorton.com, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Our forecast should be dry for the most part today, warming up to only 45, though. For tomorrow, steady rain in the morning, tapering off to showers by afternoon. We're looking for around a quarter inch of rain tomorrow, 47 the high. Back into the low 50s by Friday. We'll taper off to showers for Friday and Saturday. More heavy rain on Sunday again. Right now it's 45 in Seattle.
6:45, Serena Williams insists she's not coming back to tennis. Here's Katrina Gashard.
Back in 2022, it was a tearful farewell for the tennis pro.
I just thank everyone that's here, that's been on my side so many years, decades. Oh my gosh, literally decades.
The 44-year-old's name came up on the registry for the tennis drug testing pool. So yesterday on X, Serena Williams wrote, "Oh my God, y'all, I'm not coming back. This wildfire is crazy." But she did not clarify exactly why she registered to submit for random drug testing.
I might. I'm just like, hey, I don't do drugs.
May as well.
Yeah. All right.
Something to do. All right. Hey, can you believe the Seattle Seahawks have just 2 home games left this regular season, and we want you to be there. KIRO Newsradio is giving away 4 tickets to the Seahawks game on December 14th. All you have to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app, click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, just text the word app to 888-973-5476. We'll send you a link. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Monday, December 8th.
And coming up on Seattle's Morning News, CBS's chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes on the president's verbal attacks on his adversaries, including Nancy herself. It's 6:46.
Holiday shopping got you stressed? The Mariners have you covered. Grab a season ticket membership for the super fan in your life, and they can lock in the best seats and benefits like guaranteed postseason access. Or mix and match with single game tickets for everyone on your list, from opening day on March 26th to must-see matchups against the Yankees, Phillies, and more. This holiday season, make Mariners.com your one-stop shopping destination.
Oh, he makes the catch! What a snag by Julio Rodriguez!
Take your business to the next level in 2025 with help from WaFd Bank. WaFd Bank's business accounts and cash flow tools get you paid in hours, not weeks, so you can grow your business and meet your goals. You need a best bank. Visit WaFdBank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974, this is KIRO Newsradio.
Lots happening at the White House this week as President Trump continues to insult reporters and Democratic lawmakers. Meanwhile, questions still surround whether the deadly U.S. strikes on boats off the coast of Venezuela allegedly carrying drugs were legal and who ordered them.
Let's bring in CBS Chief White House Correspondent Nancy Cordes. Nancy, let's start with breaking down some of those recent comments from the president toward two lawmakers from Minnesota. We're talking about Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and Governor Tim Walz. What did he say?
Well, you know, he has been critical of these individuals in the past, and yesterday and recent days are no different. He basically called Ilhan Omar garbage. He said her friends are garbage. She hadn't said anything new about him recently that would trigger this, but like I said, she is someone he's gone after before. In fact, he made comments about Somali Americans in general that drew accusations of bigotry yesterday when he said, I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks. We don't want them here. And then as far as Governor Tim Walz is concerned, he used a term that many consider a slur at the end of last week on Thanksgiving, calling him retarded. He was asked whether he wanted to stand by that or take that back. He said he stood by it. It's just sort of a couple of examples of a more aggressive President Trump, would you say, in recent days when it comes to talking about those who he views in opposition to himself.
And that's what I was curious about. Is this just we're hearing it reported more, or is there an uptick in terms of the language that's being used?
I think there's been an uptick. I mean, obviously last week he called me a stupid person. He said that another reporter was terrible and insubordinate. We've all talked about how he's described others as piggy or ugly. It does seem like he's been a little more personally aggressive lately, but he's also been more outspoken about various groups of immigrants, groups from Afghanistan, for example, after this tragic case in Washington, D.C., where one National Guard member has been killed by the suspect who is an Afghan national. President Trump used that to say that he thinks that a lot of Afghans shouldn't be in this country, and falsely claiming that they weren't vetted, and then expanding that to say that there are now groups of people from all over the world that he doesn't want to let in, and that was kind of echoed by his Secretary of Homeland Security, who said that she is going to be recommending that a full travel ban be placed on every damn country, these are her words, that's been flooding our nation with killers, leeches, and entitlement junkies. We don't know exactly which countries she's referring to, but reportedly about 30 countries are going to be on that list.
Nancy, on a personal note, you are the CBS chief White House correspondent, Nancy Cordes. Have you ever been targeted by a president of the United States like that? And how do you hold back and not respond?
Well, my job is just to ask questions. I've, asked a fact-based question. He's the president of the United States. He's entitled to answer however he wants. And so I was just, most intent on getting answers to my questions. How he answers them is really his concern. But to answer your broader question, no. I mean, I've certainly, gotten lots of tough responses from politicians over the years. Certainly covering Capitol Hill for 12 years. There are a lot of politicians who don't always like the questions that you're asking. But I do think it was probably the first time I've been called stupid by a public official.
Well, we don't think that, Nancy. We appreciate you being on with us here on Seattle's Morning News, and always appreciate your hard, dogged work there at the White House.
You're so kind. Thank you so much.
Take care. CBS Chief White House Correspondent Nancy Cordes.
All right, Sully, you are at the traffic desk.
And we are working with the full closure of SR 9 in the Snohomish area, city of Snohomish, just south of Highway 2. In both directions there, they're dealing with a crash. We're waiting to get an update from State Patrol, how long they're going to be dealing with that. But either way, we're seeing a lot of people going different places than they normally would to get around this, especially westbound on Highway 2 across the trestle, as people realize they can't get off at Highway 9 and they're having to go around. So plan on delays in that general area. Coming down through Marysville, we're also seeing a couple of minutes worth of a delay. We have about 28 minutes to go from Arlington down into Everett, and then about a 45 to 50 minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. All of the brake lights there are south of Linwood. 405 northbound, the Renton S-curves are starting to heat up a bit, but we're not quite up to a half an hour. Behind that, 25 minutes out of Auburn, but still an hour from Puyallup as we struggle through Pacific. Some more intense brake lights up the hill from Fife to Highway 18. You're going to need about 22 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way, and Federal Way to Seattle's running just over 50 minutes. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. When your home feels colder than it should, comfort matters. For heating, plumbing, electrical you can trust, call the comfort people, Home Comfort Alliance, or visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Mostly cloudy but dry and a little bit chilly. A high of only 45 today. It is 45 in Seattle right now.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on the latest about what we know about the health of Green River killer Gary Ridgway. That's on the way here on Seattle's Morning News.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more. KIRO News Radio has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks game, Sunday, December 14th. Head to the KIRO News Radio app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the KIRO News Radio app, the better your odds will be. Do it every day, December 2nd through December 8th. Details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win. From the station where the 12s hear the Hawks, KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
With Steel, batteries are included. This holiday season, give a gift that's ready to go right out of the box. For everything from cleaning up the yard to cutting up firewood, Steel tools check off the wish list and knock out the to-do list. And right now, buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for holiday deals and gift ideas. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger. But your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Seattle U's men's basketball is hosting some big games at Climate Pledge. Come see teams like UW, Wazoo, and the Zags. First game is December 7th against UTEP. Grab your tickets at GoSeattleU.com/tickets.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Next up for the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, New Orleans. The Department of Homeland Security announced this morning Operation Catahoula Crunch is underway. CBS's Katie Weiss is in New Orleans.
Well, I saw a few federal agents throughout the city's popular tourist district called the French Quarter and along Canal Street, which is normally a very bustling tourist street with lots of shops and restaurants. The federal agents appeared to be kind of getting into position. They didn't appear to be making any arrests, at least from what I could tell.
The crackdown comes hours after the administration paused citizenship requests for hundreds of thousands of people from 19 different countries. Correspondent Camila Montoya Galvez.
The guidance that we obtained shows that U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has ordered a complete and categorical stop to all legal immigration processing for cases filed by nationals of 19 countries.
Marissa Montez heads Loyola Law School's Immigrant Justice Clinic.
I just wish the public remembers that this is impacting not only individuals, but families and people who really make up our community and societies locally.
A Democratic senator is demanding the Trump administration give bonuses to all air traffic controllers who worked during the shutdown.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced last month the $10,000 bonuses would only go to the 776 controllers and technicians who didn't miss a shift during the shutdown.
They're patriots. We are grateful to them for the work that they've done.
But in a letter to Duffy first obtained by CBS News, Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth says excluding 96% of the controllers who also worked without pay but missed some shifts due to illness or childcare issues is an insult at a time when the government should be doing all it can to retain air traffic controllers. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
New Englanders are digging out after their first major storm of the season.
Driving around in the snow has been a little scary, a little slick out there, I would say. That snow is a little heavier than I thought.
Jenna Chapelis in Nashua, New Hampshire, which got almost 5 inches. Next, for the Northeast and Midwest, wind chills 20 to 25 degrees below zero. The White House is pushing back after an admonishment from a pop star. A day after Sabrina Carpenter warned the Trump administration to stop using her hit Juno and X-Post showing ICE agents arresting Latinos, the White House is using her man-child lyrics to respond. The caption, anyone who would defend these sick monsters must be stupid, or is it slow? No word from Carpenter on whether she'll pursue legal action. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
7:03 Wednesday morning. Let's check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
And we're starting this hour with some positive news. We have all cleared all the lanes of Highway 9 there in the north city of Snohomish, just south of SR2. So you don't need to divert anymore. Had been closed for about 45 minutes for a crash, but all lanes have reopened there. A lot of people have headed over toward the trestle to try to get down and around this. Don't need to do that anymore. Coming down from the Marysville area, we continue to see very heavy brake lights past 528. Today, we've got about a 30-minute trip from Arlington into Everett. That's about 12 minutes behind schedule. Then a pretty decent drive all the way down to you get to Linwood, but then from there on down, it's kind of on. You got about a 45-minute trip from Linwood down, which puts us closer to an hour to make it all the way from the Everett area, maybe a little bit under. Looking at Renton to Bellevue at about 30 minutes. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, about an hour and 10 all the way. Still struggling through Pacific and at the north end. Federal Way to Seattle's getting closer to an hour as well as we're bogging down past the West Seattle Bridge. Olympia to Tacoma's got no issues, just a little slowing through Nisqually. This report brought to you by the Victorian Christmas Festival, presented by Puyallup Chocolates. December 4th through the 7th at the Washington State Fair Event Center. Buy your tickets at VictorianChristmasFestival.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, is reportedly near death behind bars in Washington.
Now the detective who helped bring him down is reacting to the news and reflecting on the victims he believes should remain the focus.
With more, we're joined live by KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, Charlie, former King County Sheriff Dave Reichert, who spent decades hunting Ridgway, has confirmed with KIRO 7 TV Ridgway, who's now 76 years old, is in fact receiving end-of-life care inside a state prison.
Almost a year ago, I saw a photo of him in a wheelchair. He didn't look too healthy then.
Ridgway was arrested back in 2001 and later confessed to killing nearly 50 women across Western Washington. He avoided the death penalty by helping investigators locate additional victims. Reichert says while that was difficult, he did ultimately agree with that deal to spare Ridgway's life because the victims' families still wanted answers.
He's an evil monster who invaded our lives here in Washington State. You don't forget collecting the bodies of little girls in various forms of decomposition.
Finally, speaking of those families, Reichert says that is where his focus is right now.
Because every time this case comes up, they have, it just brings up everything.
Now, we don't know if Ridgway is in a hospital bed or this is like a hospice care situation. We do know, though, he's serving a life sentence inside the Walla Walla State Penitentiary. The Department of Corrections won't confirm anything other than he is receiving care. Charlie.
He is receiving care, and to clarify, they deny there has been a change in his health status. However, 5 people, Luke, have told me he is nearing the end of his life.
Yeah, and I know that, and we're going to be speaking this later on this morning as well. You actually spoke with Ridgway, one of the few journalists to do that.
Yep.
And incredible story you have, and we'll be touching on that a little later this morning.
Okay, thanks for that, Luke. It's 7:06 now.
One man is dead after being shot by Seattle police in the Rainier Valley neighborhood. a witness tells us she heard the shots.
And all of a sudden, I just seen all these cars, the cops, officers, everybody flooding in and just blocking the roads.
Police Chief Sean Barnes says the suspect was waving a handgun near the Othello Light Rail Station about 1:30 yesterday afternoon.
One officer tried to negotiate or to de-escalate the situation, but again, a person with a weapon, time really is not on your side.
He says the man pointed his gun before officers shot him, killing him at the scene.
Dashcam video shows the moment a state trooper's car was hit by another driver. The trooper had stopped to help another driver suspected of DUI who had hit a barrier on I-5 near downtown Seattle. This was early yesterday morning. No serious injuries were reported, but the driver who hit the car is under investigation. State Patrol reminds drivers slow down, move over when they see emergency vehicles on the shoulder.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
How's that one for a Wednesday morning wake-up call?
Let's wake up.
It's December 3rd. He's Charlie Harger. I'm Manda Factor.
And we have Sully over here keeping an eye on the traffic, especially Highway 9 looking like a real hassle this morning.
Yeah, the good news is that they have just cleared all the lanes there in the city of Snohomish, but we still have a lot of backups in and around that area. It could take a little while to clear.
Okay, for sure. Producer David Burbank is in studio with us. Katrina Gishard is out at the news desk and returning, and picking the music is Nick Krasia. Welcome back, Nick.
I had some time to add to the, repertoire, so to speak.
Work on your playlist while you're waiting for jury duty?
Exactly, yeah.
All right. Coming up this hour of the show, some legal perspective on Costco's lawsuit against the Trump administration. Could more retail companies follow suit? We're going to ask former State Attorney General Rob McKenna.
And in today's commentary at 7:35, sometimes it seems that scientific evidence is not enough for state lawmakers.
It's 7:08. Washington Congressman Adam Smith says he will be meeting with Admiral Frank Bradley this week.
Bradley is the man the Trump administration claims ordered a second strike on a suspected drug boat in the Caribbean. KIRO News Radio's Heather Bosch asked Smith,
regardless of who ordered a second strike to kill 2 survivors, is that not a war crime of some type?
It certainly looks like one.
Smith, a Democrat and the ranking member, the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee, says the administration has yet to justify its attacks on the alleged drug boats. President Trump says they're stopping narco-terrorists.
The Trump administration is threatening to withhold SNAP benefits in most Democratic-led states starting next week unless they provide recipient records. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss explains.
That means names, birth dates, social security numbers, and income. Right now, general statistics are available, but specific records are restricted to protect privacy.
The Agriculture Department says it wants to root out fraud in the program. Democratic states, including Washington, have sued to block that requirement.
Washington's election results are now official. Governor Ferguson and Secretary of State Steve Hobbs certified last month's vote yesterday. Ferguson thanked Hobbs and his staff for their work.
We appreciate the hard work of our elections crew, all across the state who do really important work, now more than ever, especially important.
Well, the state of Washington now faces a federal lawsuit over voter rolls. According to court documents, Secretary of State Hobbs violated federal law by refusing to turn over statewide voter registration records. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon spoke with the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770 AM last month.
We're just exercising our statutory authority.
And Tuesday, Hobbs said he has not been served with the lawsuit.
I'm not handing over private information. That'd be the last four of the social security number, the full birth date, etc., because state law prohibits me from doing that and federal law prohibits me from doing it.
Now that the vote is certified, Seattle's newest city council member is officially on the job. Eddie Lynn took the oath yesterday, becoming the first of this year's winners to start. He fills the seat left by Tammy Morales and temporarily held by Mark Solomon. Before politics, Lynn worked as a lawyer for the city's Office of Housing. His election is part of a small progressive wave after 2 years of centrist control. We should say that one of those centrists who has been voted out of office, Sarah Nelson, the city council president, will join us for a live interview coming up in about an hour.
A new tax proposal goes after Washington's largest corporations, as we hear from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
The Well Washington Fund would bring in about $3 billion a year for things like higher education and health care, using a payroll tax on wages over $125,000. at the biggest 1% of Washington companies. That's according to Democratic State Representative Sean Scott.
There may be no kings in Washington state, but we most certainly do have elites.
It's all rhetoric. This would be a state income tax.
State Representative and Washington State Republican Party Chair Jim Walsh tells John Curley this proposal will be dead on arrival when the legislative session starts in January. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
The Bellingham resident and Afghan national charged in the shooting of 2 National Guardsmen pleaded not guilty to murder and assault charges. CBS's Christopher Cruz reports he appeared in court yesterday via video from his hospital bed.
Ramanullah Lakhanwal was also shot by a 3rd National Guardsman during the ambush-style attack in Washington on November 26th. 20-year-old specialist Sarah Beckstrom died the next day. 24-year-old Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf is still in the hospital. The 29-year-old Lakhanwal's attorney entered a not guilty plea on his client's behalf during the brief court hearing. A prosecutor described the shooting as a shocking crime and said it appears that Lakhanwal traversed the city before approaching the troops and shooting them. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
It's 7:12 and time for a check on the weather. It's brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard. A little chilly, but not a bad weather day.
Not at all, yeah. A little cloudy, too. We might see a few sprinkles, especially over the northern part of the area. Say, Everett North or west of Puget Sound out to the coast. Everybody could technically see a sprinkle or two, but this system coming in has not really been producing much. So just a few sprinkles early and then a cloudy day and highs in the mid-40s. But we're going to see plenty of rain soon. Tomorrow is just rainy pretty much all day, tapering off to showers late in the day. Gets a little warmer in the upper 40s, and then we're showery and breezy on Friday and in the low 50s with high snow levels through the weekend with showers on Saturday, rain most of the day on Sunday, and potentially even heavier rain for Monday and Tuesday as we start looking at some atmospheric rivers coming in. And that may mean some area rivers are rising up a little bit. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll have to keep an eye on snow levels. But today is the drier day for a while because we have plenty of rain coming in starting tomorrow.
All right, Nick, thank you. Right now it's just cloudy and 44 in Seattle.
At 7:13, let's get a check on traffic on the 3s with Chris Sullivan.
And we've settled into a typical Wednesday out there with brake lights right where they should be. Going to start up in the north end where we're still struggling a little bit on southbound I-5 getting through Marysville. A little bit of action with a state trooper over on the left-hand shoulder right at 528 there, the main Marysville exit. Going to need about 30 minutes from Arlington to Everett. That's about 10 minutes slower than normal. Get a nice long freeway speed drive till you get away from to Linwood, and then it's starting to get a little heavier there. Give yourself about an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, which is standard, maybe even a little lighter than most Wednesdays at this point. Renton to Bellevue, we've got about a 30-minute trip. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, about 30 minutes out of Auburn and about an hour and 10 all the way. We have the heavy about 2-mile backup, maybe 2.5 now to get up through Pacific. Northbound I-5 through Olympia and Tacoma doesn't look bad. Then you have brake lights up the Fife Hill. It's going to take you about 25 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way. Federal Way to Seattle's about an hour. Lake bridges are fine. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial 97.3 HD2.
It's 7:15. Have you heard the one about the drunk raccoon? KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard is here to tell the tale.
Animal Protection Services in Hanover County, Virginia say a raccoon fell through a ceiling tile into a liquor store, ransacked the shelves, and passed out after a booze-fueled rampage.
Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Dale's got a history.
They posted a picture of broken booze bottles, mostly gin and whiskey, scattered through the aisles. There's even a picture of the raccoon face planted next to a toilet in the bathroom of the shop. A statement from Animal Protection Services says after a few hours of sleep and zero signs of injury other than maybe a hangover and poor life choices, he was safely released back to the wild.
What a polite raccoon to actually go to the restroom.
Now, I'm curious. I know we have Rob McKenna on the line. We've got a very serious topic coming up. But Rob McKenna, you are the former state attorney general. Could this raccoon face any possible charges for breaking and entering?
Yeah, but he really needs to just go to rehab. I think that's the key thing.
Yeah.
Which could bring up a whole other song if you wanted to.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, Katrina. It's 7:16.
Seattle's Morning News. Hear it live. Stream it online. Watch the show or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
All right, back to the serious stuff. We have told you Costco has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration for the president's imposing of tariffs on American companies, demanding a refund.
And joining us now, as he does every Wednesday morning, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Okay, Rob, what is going on with this Costco case?
Well, Costco is one of dozens of companies that have filed lawsuits to achieve two things. One, they want a full refund of the new tariffs imposed by the Trump administration that's already paid this year. And two, they want to block those tariffs or import duties from continuing to be collected from the company. Now, this raises the question of, why did they file this suit now? The Supreme Court case is pending on whether or not the president had authority under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to impose these tariffs. Why not just wait until after they rule? Well, the answer is, one, we don't know when the Supreme Court's actually going to rule, even though they took the case on an expedited basis. And two, Costco and the other companies are arguing that there's a December 15 deadline that could prevent the tariffs that's already paid from being refunded. This is under a provision for challenging tariffs. It's like paying your estimated taxes, and then later on you say, well, I think I overpaid, and I want to get a refund of the overpayment amount.
These are large companies, Rob. Do we know how much money we're talking about?
Costco has not said. So apparently the way this works is they pay estimated amounts of tariffs, and then there's some sort of reconciliation. And presumably if a company pays less than it owes, it pays the balance, or if it's overpaid, it gets a refund. But no one seems to know exactly how much money we're talking about here. The administration in the early days of the tariffs claimed, I think it's the Treasury Secretary, that the tariffs were generating $50 to $100 billion a year. But I don't know what the amount is. It's a lot, and if these companies all have to be refunded, it's definitely going to hit the Treasury.
Would you imagine this would embolden other companies to go after these lawsuits over the impact of tariffs, especially if Costco is successful?
I think so. I think that like taxpayers who are paying a tax that's subsequently struck down as unlawful, they'll want to get refunds. Costco and these other companies seem to think that in order to preserve their ability to get a refund of the estimated tariffs they've paid this year, they have to file by December 15th. If that's true, and we're still 12 days out from that deadline, you may see many, many more such lawsuits filed preemptively to preserve the ability of these companies to obtain the refunds if the tariffs are struck down. So it's a big deal, and this is likely not to be the end of the lawsuits that are filed.
Would we expect the administration to somehow retaliate against Costco?
Well, that's a very interesting question that did cross my mind. Costco has not kowtowed to this administration. There were no Costco executives at the inauguration. Unlike some of the big tech executives. They've been under pressure from the administration to eliminate their corporate environmental, social, and governance policies that favor, green power and that favor DEI policies, and they've refused to do it. They've reaffirmed their commitment to their own internal DEI policies under that pressure, and so far, notwithstanding a lot of saber rattling from the Department of Justice towards corporate America, they haven't backed down on that either.
Rob, while we have you, let's take a look at this case involving Secretary of State Steve Hobbs. You spent a lot of your time when you were the state attorney general defending Washington's election laws. Hobbs is being sued surrounding his alleged violation of federal law concerning voter registration records. What did you think when you heard about the lawsuit?
It seems typical for when there are disagreements over implementation of election law. So it didn't surprise me. I was by coincidence in a meeting last night with some people who used to work for Secretary of State Sam Reed, who was the Secretary of State when I was AG, and I joked that he brought me a lot of work. I took a couple of cases to the U.S. Supreme Court that involved the Secretary of State's office. So I'm not alarmed by it. I think this kind of lawsuit in the Secretary of State's official capacity will, work its way through the courts. I assume that the Attorney General's office will mount a strong defense of him, and he was acting in his official capacity. And And so we'll see how it works out. It would be surprising to me if he knowingly violated federal law. I suppose there could be a disagreement over the details, but the Secretary of State's office is the preeminent election law expert in the state, and they know how to get things right.
Okay. Former state AG Rob McKenna joins us every week. Rob, thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. Well, we're talking about elections. Democrats in Tennessee were not able to flip the deep red 7th congressional district, but it was closer than Republicans would have liked. Republican Matt Van Epps wins, seen as a local referendum on the president's first year in office. CBS News correspondent Nicole Valdez is in Nashville with more.
It was surprisingly competitive. The first time GOP candidate won last night's election only by single digits over Afton Bain, a Democratic state representative. This result was much closer than what we saw a year ago when President Trump scored a 22-point victory in the same district. It's the reason Democratic officials say Republicans should be, quote, shaking in their boots ahead of next year's midterms. The tight margins led to a massive amount of money pouring into both campaigns. In fact, a CBS analysis found at least $8 million was spent on the race, with more than $6 million donated by outside groups. Now, Van Epps received more than $1 million from President Trump's super PAC, and support for his campaign, of course, surged after getting the president's endorsement back in October.
And Van Epps is finishing the term of retired Republican Representative Green. He will have to run for re-election in the midterms to keep the seat.
And before we get to traffic, I want to remind you that the season of giving starts early on Monday. KIRO Newsradio kicks off our Holiday Magic online auction, all proceeds benefiting Treehouse and kids in foster care across Washington State.
I'm getting very excited about this.
Yeah, this is your first one. This
It
is a great event we do here every year. It's 37 years. One of the big auction items you can bid on is
This is cool.
Okay. Your walk-up intros recorded by Tom Hutler for your kids' youth baseball team. Tom Hutler, if you are not aware, is the stadium voice of the Mariners. When you go to T-Mobile Park, Tom Hutler.
Yep.
That's the guy you hear. Now, here's the thing. A couple years back, I had Tom record the walk-ups for my son's Little League
so
team.
Awesome.
And if you are a bit older, you have grandkids, you're not going to kids' baseball games, most teams have these walk-ups. You got the boombox playing them. So I'm not making this up. This is what he recorded for my son.
I just want to use your love.
Coming to the plate, number 1, Sam Harger.
How cool is that?
It was really cool, and all the kids have the different walk-ups, so that is one of the auction items you can bid on when this happens.
Hope you can help us out this year.
Next week.
All right, learn more at mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic, or you can text MAGIC to 888-973-5476.
We all know you're number 1, Sully, and you're at the traffic desk.
By the way, I'm also trying to finagle cameos for me to give people voice or video messages to bosses
we'll be
to get
doing
people
those.
out of work because of traffic.
That'll be a hot item.
That's always fun. Looking at the drive now, we are definitely improving through Marysville after we had a little issue right near 528. Travel time back down to 25 minutes from Arlington to Everett. And then away from Linwood, we got about a 45-minute trip to make it to Seattle or Bellevue, hour all the way from Everett. Looking at the Valley Freeway, still struggling through Pacific, but an hour and 10-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton isn't out of line for this time of day. Renton to Bellevue is a half an hour. Federal Way to Seattle now about an hour and 10 minutes as well, getting closer to 35 out of South Center. Lake bridges are still good. Highway 18 over Tiger Mountain, still seeing some eastbound slowing over the summit, but nothing you can't handle. Olympia to Tacoma is nice and easy. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Right now, buy one, get one 50% off at Lake Washington Windows and Doors, plus 12 months of zero-interest financing. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Mostly cloudy today, mainly dry, and a high of 45. It's 44 in Seattle right now.
Coming up in today's 735 commentary, why do we continue to deny science when it comes to plastic bags? I explore the state's so-called solution to the plastic problem. That's on the way.
Here on Seattle's Morning News.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO Newsradio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of holiday magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
Get ready, because Murphy Auction is closing out the year with a massive Marysville equipment auction with the complete dispersal of AA rentals, 7 mini excavators, 17 skid steers, tractors, backhoes, telescopic forklifts, and over 100 gas-powered landscaping tools. Need something heavier? A John Deere 85G excavator, a Hitachi ZX290LC, a Cat CS563E roller, and 10 high-reach boom lifts, plus 3 big-time dump trucks hit the block. A 2018 Kenworth T880 Super Solo, a 2019 Peterbilt Quad Axle, and a 2005 Kenworth T800 Quad Axle, plus a fleet of 6 2017 to 2019 Peterbilt 567 tractors. Auction opens 10 a.m. Thursday, December 4th, and closes 10 a.m. Thursday, December 11th. Preview is Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 3803 136th Street Northeast in Marysville. Visit murphyauction.com for details.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Looking for a high school that nurtures both the mind and spirit? Archbishop Murphy High School is where academic excellence meets faith-based education. With a 100% graduation rate and a college prep program designed to challenge and inspire, our students are prepared for whatever the future holds. But it's more than just academics. Archbishop Murphy's robust athletics, arts, and co-curricular activities ensure that every student finds their passion and thrives. Archbishop Murphy High School believes in educating the whole person. That's why we offer a vibrant campus life where students grow not only academically, but also spiritually, socially, and physically. Don't just take our word for it. See it for yourself. Schedule a visit and discover how Archbishop Murphy High School can help your students succeed. Visit am-hs.org. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy proudly supports Archbishop Murphy High School, where your story begins. am-hs.org.
Step into Seahawks game day at the Pro Shop, where the roar of the 12s begins. And official Seahawks gear is always within reach.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
This is the Pro Shop. Visit the official store of the Seattle Seahawks, located at Lumen Field and the Landing in Renton.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 7:31. We're getting a better picture of who will be helping Seattle Mayor-elect Katie Wilson run Seattle.
Wilson has named part of her leadership team when she takes office in January, and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest.
Yeah, so Charlie, Wilson is tapping a mix of City Hall veterans and longtime allies, and we're getting a hint of things to come from one of those veterans. Her deputy mayor is going to be Brian Surratt. He used to run the city's Office of Economic Development under former Mayor Ed Murray. He was a key negotiator in raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour here in Seattle. Well, here he was in an interview back in 2021 talking about his vision for city policing.
How do we create a culture that can retain and continue to grow and invest in the best officers and also maintain trust with community, and particularly communities of color?
Other key staffers include Jen Chan, the current Deputy Executive Director of the Seattle Housing Authority. She's going to oversee all department heads in the city. Wilson's plan apparently is to consolidate all of those different silos in government under one person to get them all marching to the same drumbeat and boost collaboration is the idea. Then there's one of Wilson's strongest allies. Kate Burnett Kreuzer will serve as Wilson's chief of staff. Arguably the most important role in Wilson's administration and most administrations is chief of staff. Kreuzer was the treasurer of Wilson's Transit Writers Union, which is not actually a union, but a small lobbying firm with just a handful of employees focused on promoting equitable and accessible public transportation. That firm also posted losses in 2022, 2023, and 2024. To compare, the city of Seattle employs more than 15,000 people. Wilson has not said whether or not she will keep Police Chief Sean Barnes. Charlie and Manda, again, she takes office January 1st.
Okay, and stay tuned because coming up at 8:15, we're going to talk to outgoing Seattle City Council President Sarah Nelson about this new administration coming in and maybe some of her thoughts.
And just ahead of our traffic, down to the wire to travel across state on the scenic North Cascades Highway. Thursday, 6 p.m., the Department of Transportation will shut it down. Highway 20 for the winter between Rainy and Washington passes. Last year, this 40-mile stretch closed November 18th. The earliest recorded closure was October 17th of 2007. The latest seasonal closure was January 3rd of 1990.
Okay, Sully, you are at the traffic desk. Where do we start?
Well, we're going to start on the northbound I-5 drive getting into the heart of Seattle. That is probably our stickiest point at this juncture. We've got about a backup that starts at the beginning of Boeing Field, goes into downtown. Over 35 minutes now from South Center, which pushes us to over an hour and 10 all the way from Federal Way. That's about average for a Wednesday. We're also seeing some heavy brake lights up to Highway 18 coming up out of 5, so 25 minutes from Tacoma to Federal Way. Valley Freeway isn't terrible out of Auburn. It's under 30 minutes. More yellow than red on the map, which means you're going at a consistent speed. It's just not really fast. Behind that, of course, down in Pacific, we continue to struggle through Pacific, but an hour and 10-minute trip is about what we've gotten used to. Renton to Bellevue, about 35 minutes now. By the time you're up to 44th, it's not bad. Then a little bit more over the top of I-90 getting into Bellevue. Across the lake, no issues yet. Coming down from the north end, some brake lights through Tulalip, but a 25-minute trip down into Everett is not bad. And then we've got about an hour and 5-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. That's about average this time of day. Olympia to Tacoma, is nice and easy. This report brought to you by Superior Linen Service, 98 years servicing quality uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Call Superior Linen Service. They answer the phone, or visit suplinen.com.
Our forecast should be dry for the most part, but mostly cloudy and chilly today, a high of only 45. Tomorrow, the rain returns. It'll be pretty steady in the morning hours, tapering off to showers by afternoon and 47. But then we have a chance of showers in the forecast for Friday and Saturday. Sunday looks like more steady rain again. Right now, it's cloudy and 44 in Seattle.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
And it's time for the 7:35 commentary. Follow the science. That was the mantra, remember? Data over feelings, evidence-based policy. Well, Washington commissioned a study on the plastic bag ban. The science came back, and the state said, no thanks. Updating a commentary I did on this a couple months ago now. Starting next month, the fee on those thick, reusable plastic bags goes from 8 cents to 12. And oh, by the way, you're going to hear it's 12 cents, but it's actually 13. See, sales tax applies to each bag. Full steam ahead. Here's what happened. Departments of Commerce and Ecology hired Washington State University to study the ban's effectiveness. Wazoo delivered the report. Then Commerce and Ecology published it with a 4-page rebuttal at the front, explaining why their own commission study was wrong. For those in the back of the room, they paid for the research, got results they didn't like, then attached their opinions ahead of the actual findings. The researchers found that after the 2021 ban, the number of bags distributed dropped by half. Great news, right? Except total plastic used by weight went up 17%. The thick bags weigh about 4 times more than the thin ones. Fewer bags, but more plastic overall. The researchers were clear. Drop the thickness requirement. Bring back thin bags with a small fee. That actually reduces plastic waste. The agency's rebuttal called the data inconclusive and claimed the study lacked robust Washington-specific information. They argued the study failed to consider larger social, economic, and environmental implications. Which ones? Well, they're vague on that. They mention equity impacts and environmental justice concerns without defining them or providing data. It's the perfect bureaucratic dodge. Science is incomplete, so let's rely on metrics we can interpret however we want. Most people I know, besides Sully, use these thick bags once, maybe twice. Sully actually uses them religiously. That pizza for his 9 a.m. lunch isn't going to wrap itself. But a 2014 California study found you need to reuse those bags at least 8 times to match the environmental impact of a single thin bag. 8 times. Do you reuse your bag 8 times? Most people don't. Those Wazoo researchers found about 30% of people are reusing bags after the ban. Before the ban, Washington's annual pile of grocery bags would fill a football field about 22 feet high. Now with the thicker bags, same football field, 38 feet high. We nearly doubled it. Our solution made it worse. The law was scheduled to require even thicker 4-mil bags. At least they're delaying that. But they won't remove the thickness requirement, which is what the science says to do. Follow the science worked until the science disagreed. We all want cleaner oceans and less waste. But maybe next time we commission a study, we should be willing to listen to what it tells us. And that's a commentary for December 3rd, 2025. You can always weigh in. Shoot us a note on the text line, 888-973-5476. And you can leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
7:39 now. Sully, who eats pizza at 9 o'clock from your reused plastic bag. What's coming up in traffic?
I don't even use them 8 times.
That's a lot. They get
I know.
I
I go probably about 3 deep, and then sometimes I just toss it because I forget about it. Don't
you care. Monster.
I'm terrible. Going to look at the heaviest drive now. Northbound I-5 getting up past the West Seattle Bridge. We'll break it down for you next.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
Well, the wet, chilly weather has certainly arrived. It's Mike Salk here, and if your attic and crawl space are well insulated, your home should be fine. Should feel cozy and warm without your furnace having to work overtime. But you'd be surprised to learn how many homes in Western Washington lack insulation in these spaces. It's why you call Crawl Pros. If you're feeling cold drafts or seeing that heating bill spike, now's a great time to learn if you got anything going on behind that crawl space or attic by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come out to your house just like they did to mine, do the corner-to-corner inspection. In my case, they found the problem, showed me the pictures, and then they got it all fixed. Now, if they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates that are available to help you get the work done correctly. Like if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could get a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost of the insulation job. If you're worried anything is going on in your crawl space or attic, including critters, water intrusion, mold, plumbing issues, anything, call Crawl Pros and schedule your free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
7:43 now. Chris Sullivan joins us with traffic on the threes.
And we are enjoying a pretty decent Wednesday out there. There's nothing really to surprise you across the board. We're looking at kind of a normal drive on northbound I-5, working our way up past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. About an hour and 10-minute trip now for that drive. Valley Freeway, about an hour and 10 as well. Heaviest spot there getting through Pacific. Renton to Bellevue's not too bad either at about 35 minutes, and the lake bridges haven't quite heated up. Now to the north end, where it appears we have just added a brand new crash on southbound I-5 just before we get to the Mill Creek interchange, and this one backed us up really quickly. We're backed up to about 1/12 now, trying to get a little bit more information on that one to see how severe it is. But again, it's right before you get down to the Mill Creek interchange, and we're looking at probably a 10 or 12-minute delay through that corridor, which has pushed us up to about an hour and 15 now from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. So that corridor just kind of went off the map, unfortunately. The drive from Olympia to Tacoma does not look too bad, and a little bit of slowing over 18 over Tiger Mountain, but it's manageable. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance, which installs the most dependable home comfort solutions, including Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning systems. Call the comfort people. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Our forecast today, you might see a few peaks of sunshine, otherwise mostly cloudy today. No rain in the forecast, though. A high today of 45. The rain comes tomorrow. We're going to see a lot of it. Steady rain in the morning. Showers for the afternoon, about a 1/4 inch total. And then Friday and Saturday, a mix of clouds and showers. Sunday, the heavy rain picks up again. It's 44 in Seattle right now.
7:45 now. A massive Hollywood blockbuster headed back to theaters. Here's Katrina with the story.
Who can name what movie this clip is from?
But baby,
obviously it's E.T. the extraterrestrial.
Obviously.
It's Top Gun, isn't it?
That's right. The original Top Gun is making its return to the big screen to celebrate the movie's 40th anniversary. In 1986, it was the top grossing film of the year. It brought in $357 million at the box office. The re-release is set for May of next year. Until then, maybe there'll be an update on the third installment of Top Gun.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. That was such a good movie to see on the big screen.
Oh, yeah.
I might have to go.
Do it.
Okay, I've got Amanda's permission.
I didn't see the second one.
Oh,
There's still time.
Usually I don't like sequels, especially to
really
classics.
good.
It is so good.
All right.
It's a worthy sequel for once when you get something almost 35 years apart.
Yep. All right, the Seattle Seahawks have 2 home games left this regular season, and we want you to be there. KIRO News Radio is giving away 4 tickets to the Seahawks game December 14th.
Here's how you do it. Open the KIRO Newsradio app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't have the app, it's easy enough. You simply text app to 888-973-5476. We will send you a link to download.
Coming up, the latest on the backlash surrounding U.S. strikes on boats off the coast of Venezuela. We're going to hear from the Hill.com reporter Alex Bolton on Seattle's Morning News.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host pack.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
This Christmas, skip the toys and gift cards. Instead, give a chicken. Yep, a chicken. School supplies, meals, and more. How? At the Light the World Giving Machine. It's a chance to help those in need, both locally and around the world. 100% of your donation goes to the item and charity you select with a simple push of a vending machine button. Visit the Light the World Giving Machine today at the Alderwood Mall near the Lego Store and the South Hill Mall near Dick's Sporting Goods. Go to givingmachinewa.org.
Let's light the world.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Discover the magic of the season at Sky Nursery.
Hi, I'm Laurel, a team member at Sky Nursery, inviting you to come by for a cup of holiday cheer. Wander through a festive wonderland of fresh-cut fir trees and thousands of unique ornaments, and contribute to our Links of Love community tree. Stop by the winter stage for live music from a dozen local artists. Make your holiday traditions just a bit more magical at Sky Nursery.
Live music schedule and all details at skynursery.com.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
Well, good morning. It is 7:49. Contention continues this week as to whether U.S. strikes on apparent drug boats off the coast of Venezuela were illegal. Both President Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth are on the hot seat. Now, GOP senators are demanding answers from the Pentagon.
And joining us now with the latest is TheHill.com's Alexander Bolton. Good morning, Alex. Can you bring us up to speed? What are these GOP senators asking Secretary Hegseth?
Good morning. Well, they want to know exactly who ordered the second strike on September 2nd in the Caribbean Sea against a Venezuelan drug boat. The vessel was hit, it was wrecked, it was burning, but there were 2 survivors still on the boat, and there's a follow-up strike that killed the survivors. And Republican senators I spoke to are concerned that it's a potential violation of international law, certainly the rules of engagement, and they want answers as to who ordered it, who ordered that action, and whether it was Pete Hegseth or whether it was Admiral Frank Bradley. And so they say that a mistake was made and they want accountability.
The president and the secretary are being asked about this repeatedly. What are they saying now?
Well, what Hegseth said is that it was Bradley who made the call, and that's the admiral who was overseeing the strikes on these Venezuelan drug boats. Now, Hegseth at a cabinet meeting said that he watched the initial strike on that drug boat on September 2nd live, but that he didn't stick around to watch the aftermath of it. So he said he walked away, and that it was entirely Bradley's decision to do the second strike to kill the survivors. Now, there was a report in the Washington Post last week that Bradley made that order to comply with Hegseth's order that there be no survivors, that everyone should be killed. Now, that is being disputed by the White House, that Hegseth ever issued that kind of broad kill command. And the New York Times reported on Monday that 5 administration officials speaking on condition of anonymity that Hegseth only ordered the strike on the boats, but did not specify that if the initial missile strike didn't kill everyone, whether there should be a second strike. So why that's important is because if you are killing survivors floating on wreckage in the sea, it is a potential violation of international law, and that's something that the U.S. has been very strict about observing, rules of engagement going back to World War II.
We've also heard from our local Washington Congressman Adam Smith. He is the ranking Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. He says these boat strikes are illegal. Is that a thought that lawmakers across the aisle are sharing as well?
Well, Republicans say that the president is entirely within his Article 2 authority under the Constitution to defend the nation's national security, and they argue that these drug boats, which are, I might add, are suspected drug boats, are ferrying illegal fentanyl in the United States. It's killing hundreds of thousands of Americans. So they say the president is justified in striking these boats. Democrats say, though, that this is verges on an act of war, if not an outright act of war. And they say that Congress needs to authorize these actions, that the president does not have the authority without specific congressional reauthorization. However, attempts to pass a resolution to invoke the War Powers Act to restrict the president has not been able to get enough votes to pass the Congress, and it could be vetoed by President Trump. So right now, Congress isn't close to restricting the president. The big question is whether Trump will actually engage in a land invasion of Venezuela. That's something that's being threatened, and that's something that I think would draw more Republican opposition. But right now, many Republicans are comfortable with these drug boat strikes.
What's the next step in all of this, Alex?
Well, the next step is on Thursday. Frank Bradley, the admiral who is overseeing this September 2nd strike, he's going to be briefing the Republican chairman and the Democratic ranking members of the Senate and House Armed Services Committee. And he's going to answer their questions, and he's going to explain exactly who authorized these strikes, who authorized the follow-up strike against the survivors, and why it was necessary, and what's the legal justification for doing this. So that's going to be a classified briefing to the top members of the Senate and House Armed Services Committee, and then we'll see whether Hegseth himself is going to need to testify before Capitol Hill on this subject. But for the most part, Republicans are rallying behind Hegseth, although they do say that if the Secretary of Defense specifically authorized a strike against survivors, that would be a problem, and that there would need to be accountability.
Need to have you on more often, Alex. Alexander Bolton from thehill.com. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks a lot for having me on.
You bet. Take care. 7:54, that's time for traffic. We do it every 10 minutes, and here's Chris Sullivan.
Well, it looks like we had some debris in the roadway that briefly blocked the HOV lane and 2 general purpose lanes on southbound I-5 right before you got to Mill Creek. That's why this thing backed up so quickly, but they moved it off to the shoulder, and so it looks like there might still be some debris. It looks like maybe from my driver saying sheetrock in between the lanes, so keep that in mind. But the backup is getting better, but that's why we're slow from about 112th down past 128th, and we're up to an hour and 20 minutes now from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Valley Freeway, we are seeing definite brake lights through the Pacific area and then at the north end, so overall about an hour and 10, and Renton to Bellevue's at 35. Once you're past 44th, it's a pretty good drive until you get up to about I-90. Looking at northbound I-5, really slow from the beginnings of Boeing Field, 45 minutes from South Center, hour and 15 all the way. Olympia to Tacoma does not look bad at all. 512 isn't too bad either. Eastbound 18 over Tiger Mountain starting to feel a little bit of braking, but it's manageable. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Forecast looks like we will have mostly dry conditions today, 45 for a high. Tomorrow's a rainy day, though, 47, and we're looking at rain and showers the next several days after that. 40 degrees in Seattle right now.
Coming up, Seattle City Council President Sarah Nelson joins us live in the studio with the outlook for the city in 2026. Big changes on the way for Seattle. She'll join us at 8:15.
You're listening to Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
Fall is here, school is back in full swing, but can your bank keep up with your schedule? Well, WaFd Bank can, with free checking. Live your life and stick to your agenda without having to worry about minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees. WaFd has thousands of fee-free ATMs and more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states. Plus, WaFd Bank offers useful tools like voice-activated banking, so you can check your balance and make transfers between your WaFd accounts when your hands are full. And if you're like me, that's all the time. You'll also have access to free tools like online and mobile banking, bill pay, person-to-person payments with Zelle, plus mobile check deposit and full control over your debit cards to turn them on and off just in case they get misplaced. And when you open your account, choose from some great-looking debit cards to spend in style, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit wafdbank.com to open your account today and find out why they were awarded Best Bank by Newsweek 3 years in a row. With WaFd Bank, you are in control. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
Cold is weakening, rocks are moving, and mold is creeping, and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
What's your holiday tradition? It's G. Scott here. For me, it's gathering with loved ones around a meal that brings joy. For many families, that tradition feels out of reach. Next time you shop at Safeway, please donate to Nourishing Neighbors. Your gift provides groceries to families across Washington, giving them access to nutritious food and the dignity to shop like the rest of us and choose what's meaningful for their holiday table. Visit nourishingneighbors.com and donate at your Safeway checkout. That's nourishingneighbors.com.
AAA asked me if I would change my name from Sir Mix-a-Lot to Sir Mix-a-Lot. I said, why would I do that? They said, you're more than just a rapper. You're a car collector. You're a businessman. You're an inventor. Just like AAA is more than just towing. They have awesome travel advisors and insurance agents. And they got 3 A's in their name. Maybe I should change my name. Give me 3 A's. Mix, A, mix, A. When I say mix, give me 3 A's. Mix, A.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Homeland Security's launched a new immigration enforcement operation in New Orleans. CBS's Katie Weiss says it got underway this morning.
I saw a few federal agents throughout the city's popular tourist district called the French Quarter and along Canal Street, which is normally a very bustling tourist street with lots of shops and restaurants. The federal agents appeared to be kind of getting into position. They didn't appear to be making any arrests, at least from what I could tell.
And a new federal effort is poised to start in a state that's home to tens of thousands of people from Somalia, a day after President Trump unleashed this.
I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country.
CBS's Camilo Montoya Galvez.
We are told by U.S. officials that ICE is indeed preparing to launch an immigration crackdown in the Twin Cities area in Minnesota, targeting primarily immigrants from Somalia who have final deportation orders, meaning people who went through the process and were ordered deported by an immigration judge.
CBS's Olivia Rinaldi says lawmakers get a chance to question the admiral involved in a controversial second strike on survivors of a boat attack in the Caribbean.
Secretary Hegseth said that he wasn't even present for this second strike, that he saw the first strike, and then implying that the second one happened hours later, said he had left and was not there for this, but trusted Admiral Frank Bradley to make a decision about the strike. Admiral Bradley is expected to talk to Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill tomorrow.
The police have arrested a man who was allegedly plotting an attack on the University of Delaware's police department. CBS's Michael Wallace.
After Newcastle County Police stopped 25-year-old Luqman Khan last week, they searched his truck and found a Glock handgun, a switch to make the Glock fully automatic, 4 extended magazines, ballistic body armor, a notebook with a sketch of the layout of the university's police department, and writings about martyrdom. Police say a later search of his home turned up another Glock and a rifle. Khan is facing federal charges.
President Trump said today he's granting a full and unconditional pardon to Republican Representative Henry Cuellar of Texas and his wife. They were charged with bribery. More December snow in the forecast after an early week blast in the Midwest and East. CBS New York meteorologist John Elliott.
You know, parts of New Mexico could get 18 inches of snow. Again, a welcomed water resource, but it's definitely going to have an impact on travel. And it also speaks to how cold it's going to be coast to coast.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 214 points. The S&P is up 11, so is the NASDAQ. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
8:03 now. Time for traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
Well, since they made quick work of that debris that we were dealing with on southbound I-5 near the Mill Creek interchange, travel times actually picked up 15 minutes. I mean, we jumped up to about an hour and 20 really quickly from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, back down to about an hour and 5 minutes now. So plus or minus about where you might expect on a Wednesday. Once you get through that, the drive away from Linwood on I-5 isn't terrible. It's heavy through Mount Lake Terrace, but then you hit 85th coming down into the U District, and you're going to be pretty heavy. 405, it's the normal story for you guys through Canyon Park down through 522, and then a little bit out of the Kirkland area with all the weaving and merging approaching 520. So not great, but we're getting there. Northbound 167 struggling through Pacific with only that one lane open, and now we've got, it looks like, a new crash just north of Emerald Downs on 167. I'll have more for you on that in 10 minutes, but we're backing up pretty significantly to Highway 18 now. Give yourself about 30 minutes out of Auburn, hour and 15 out of Puyallup. Rented to Bellevue's under 40. That's good. Federal Way to Seattle's about an hour and 15. Lake Bridges are still doing well. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic brought to you by the Victorian Christmas Festival, presented by Puyallup Chocolates, December 4th through the 7th at the Washington State Fair Event Center. Buy your tickets, VictorianChristmasFestival.com.
8:04 on Seattle's Morning News. Thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025 edition. Along with Manda Factor, I'm Charlie Harger.
Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, is reportedly near death behind bars in Washington.
Now, the detective who helped bring him down is reacting to the news and reflecting on the victims he believes should remain the focus.
We get more live now from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Amanda, former King County Sheriff Dave Reichert, who spent decades hunting Ridgway, now tells KIRO 7 TV Ridgway, who is 76 years old, is receiving end-of-life care at a state prison.
Almost a year ago, I saw a photo of him in a wheelchair. He didn't look
too healthy then.
Ridgway was arrested back in 2001 and later confessed to killing nearly 50 women across western Washington. He avoided the death penalty by helping investigators locate additional victims. Reichert says while it's difficult, and it was difficult at the time, he ultimately agreed with that deal to spare Ridgway's life because the victims' families still wanted answers.
He's an evil monster who invaded our lives here in Washington State. You don't forget collecting the bodies of little girls in various forms of decomposition.
Finally, speaking of those families, Reichert says that is where his focus is right now.
Because every time this case comes up, they have, it just brings up everything.
Charlie, you interviewed Ridgway. I'm really curious, what is your reaction to this news of his health declining?
Yeah, that was, 12 years ago. You and I both were working at Como at the time, Luke. And I guess the thing that I think about is that I couldn't sleep for weeks and weeks. This is something that really bothered me, talking to him. But I didn't have any family members involved, right? And so I think of those family members who, after 40 years, they still can't sleep. And that is what I take away from this, is what that man has taken from so many families. And I certainly say my thoughts are with them this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And, we don't know if Ridgway is in a hospital bed or a hospice situation or what the situation actually is. He is serving that life sentence, though, inside the Walla Walla State Penitentiary.
Luke, thank you. It's 8:06.
Seattle police killed a man in Seattle's Rainier Valley neighborhood yesterday after he allegedly pointed a gun at officers. We get the details from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
The 911 call came in about 1:30 Tuesday afternoon. A shirtless man brandishing a handgun near MLK Way and Othello near the light rail station. Police arrived within 2 minutes. SPD Chief Sean Barnes tells us what happened next.
Officers attempted to communicate with him, attempted to negotiate with him, at which time the person pointed the weapon and the officers dispatched their weapons.
As Seattle police officers were involved, the King County Force Investigation Team will handle the investigation. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
State Patrol trooper is alive after a frightening crash on I-5. The trooper stepped out of his patrol car yesterday morning, moments before another vehicle slammed into it. The driver who hit the patrol car is not suspected of impairment. Officials describe the injuries from the crash as minor. State Patrol, though, reminds driver you got to slow down and move over when you see emergency vehicles on the shoulder.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, good morning. It is 8:08. It's Wednesday, December 3rd already.
We have made it to December 3rd. It's almost the new year, if you think about it.
I better start shopping here pretty soon, huh?
I better start writing 2025 on checks.
Right?
Not that I write checks anymore. But
no.
Sully is here. He is keeping an eye on the roads this morning, and Nick Kreisha is back at the control room picking the songs for us this Wednesday morning.
And coming up this hour of the show, outgoing Seattle City Council President Sarah Nelson will join us with her thoughts on the direction of the city as Mayor-elect Katie Wilson assembles her team.
And G. Scott stops by. We've been hearing a lot about the AI bubble that a large part of the U.S. economy is invested in. What happens if that bubble bursts? We'll ask G coming up at 8:45.
It's 8:09. A wild chase was caught on camera after a woman in Puyallup realized her purse was missing Monday. We get the details from KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
She started getting real-time fraud alerts from her bank. So she headed to the Home Depot where that fraudulent activity was being attempted, and from there flagged down an officer. And as that officer tried to make contact with the suspect, he took off running through the parking lot.
That suspect's running up front doors of Home Depot. Please stop!
That officer chasing him outside and across the parking lot, eventually ending up at a nearby restaurant, catching up to him there, and then taking him into custody without further incident.
The woman's purse, along with the keys to her car, home, and business, were all recovered.
A man who shot at a Pierce County sergeant will spend years in prison. Juan Jose Carbajal was sentenced yesterday to 12 years and 3 months. Prosecutors say he fired at the sergeant in Graham, then sped off at over 100 miles an hour. He even shot at another driver before crashing falling into a ravine. This happened in 2022 on the 4th of July. According to the News Tribune, his lawyer says Carbajal was suffering paranoid delusions and thought the world was ending. He pleaded guilty last month to first and second degree assault.
A King County jury could not agree on a verdict, and that means a mistrial in the case against Walter Jones, the former volunteer coach at Seattle Public Schools. Judge Michael Ryan declared the mistrial late yesterday morning after 5 days of deliberations. Jones is accused of repeatedly raping a former Garfield High School student. According to the Seattle Times, he faces 4 counts of child rape and could get up to 23 years in prison if convicted. Prosecutors say they will meet soon to decide what happens next.
The Bellingham resident accused of shooting 2 National Guard members, killing one in Washington, D.C. last week, has pleaded not guilty to murder and assault charges. A judge ordered Ramanullah Lakhanwal, an Afghan national, to be held without bond, calling the government's case exceedingly strong. U.S. Attorney for D.C. Jeanine Pirro.
The judge was very astute when she made it clear that she believed that he crossed the country with a weapon, with the intent to commit a crime of violence, and her decision was a correct one.
Lakhanwal appeared in court virtually from his hospital bed where he is recovering from his injuries.
We are now hearing from the 88-year-old woman who was robbed and had her finger bitten off at her South Seattle home. We get the update from KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao.
Emmett Cotton is staying strong after being brutally attacked on her porch in October. Cotton says he wanted her rings.
He could have them. My life was more important. Them rings, I can always get my wedding ring back, but I couldn't get my life back.
But when he went for one more ring,
he taken my hand and had it in his mouth. And that's when I started scratching his face with this hand. And he just kept biting it until he got the ring off.
Her finger bitten off, bones broken, and face bleeding.
Seattle police are still searching for the suspect. Crime Stoppers is offering a $1,000 reward for any tips.
Amazon testing a new ultra-fast delivery service for urgent high-demand items in part of Seattle.
Amazon says its Amazon Now service can get you essential household items and groceries in 30 minutes or less. Things like milk, eggs, produce, toothpaste, diapers, electronics, and over-the-counter medicines, among other things. Amazon Prime members will get discounted delivery fees starting at $3.99 per order, $10 lower than for non-Prime members. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
It's 8:12, and that's time for a check on the weather. It's brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors, and we check in with KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard.
A few sprinkles this morning or pockets of light rain, especially north and west of Puget Sound, but that's really all I see. And then the day itself will be cloudy in the mid-40s. We are starting off in the 30s and 40s. Tomorrow will be rainy most of the day until late afternoon in the upper 40s. And then Friday is showery and breezy all day. And highs are warming up to low 50s with rain kind of sticking around in the form of showers on Saturday. Widespread rain Sunday, and then potentially even heavier widespread rain on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, really looking even heavier than Sunday. So I think you got some atmospheric rivers coming in next week, and they're going to be causing a lot of rain to move across the area.
Right now in Seattle, it's just cloudy and 44.
8:13, time for traffic on the 3s with Sully.
And it turns out we do have a stall blocking the right lane of northbound 167 approaching the Emerald Downs area coming out of Auburn. And that's why we've kind of hit an all-stop there from Highway 18 on up past the scene. Got about a 30-minute trip to go from Auburn up into Renton. You add the stuff through Pacific with the bridge strike area, and we've got an hour and 10-minute trip for you. Then Renton to Bellevue is running under 40 minutes, which isn't too bad. Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy all the way up until you get to about 56, then you see a little merging there, and then it's not too bad through Tacoma and up the hill to 18. Federal Way to Seattle looks pretty decent till you get up to about the beginnings of Boeing Field. About an hour and 10-minute trip for you guys with 45 of those minutes from South Center. Across the lake, we're definitely seeing some westbound slowing on 90, but nothing too significant now. It's really just kind of from the Mount Baker Tunnel over to I-5. Coming down from the north end, now that we've cleared all the debris, or most of it at least, the backup has dissipated on southbound 5, getting from about the Boeing Freeway down to 164th. Away from Linwood, though, is the normal stuff. We got about 50 minutes away from Linwood and an hour and 10 all the way from Everett to Seattle. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic brought to you by the KIRO Radio Rundown. Text newsletter to 888-973-5476. Subscribe to the Daily KIRO News Radio Rundown. Kylie?
The what?
I don't know. I'm like Nick Allard. I'm just making up words now. KIRO and daily equals Kylie. Get the latest news and updates from your straight to your inbox from your favorite KIRO News Radio shows.
You're just conserving syllables. Deputies in Southwest Florida had their hands full as we hear from KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard.
A 14-foot, 600-pound alligator decided to rest on the doorstep of a Sarasota home. It took 7 deputies with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office and a licensed trapper to take the alligator away. The Sheriff's Office shared a video on social media.
Everybody get on the leg. Get on the leg. Everybody, I need Sarge. I need someone on that leg right there. No, pick it up. Pick it up.
They were able to guide the alligator into a truck, but not without some difficulty.
Push, shove.
Get in there. Okay, so they brought the alligator to a farm and they just let it go.
He listened.
Okay.
Nice little alligator.
Did they read the alligator its Miranda rights?
Let's ask.
And tiny, tiny little handcuffs.
No.
8:15.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
Well, we are about to enter a new era for Seattle City leadership as Mayor-elect Katie Wilson's team comes together. New Seattle City Council members are incoming. What will the city look like in 2026?
Well, let's bring in current Seattle City Council President Sarah Nelson. Good morning, Sarah. Let's start with this. What's your remaining month in office looking like for you?
Well, good morning. Hey, it's pretty busy. I've got some things that I'm wanting to get finished and a lot of goodbyes to have. So that's what it's looking like for me for the next few weeks.
What are some of those big things?
Well, I have legislation that will amend our ethics code to establish new rules for consultants who the city hires to work on policy and or political issues like ballot measures. Simple ethics reform, and then there are a lot of appointments to a lot of commissions, and I could just go on and on and on, but we'd probably bore your listeners.
Well, I know you are working on making it so city funds don't go for paying for drug paraphernalia. Where do things stand with that?
Well, that was a budget amendment that was passed by the council. So from now on, we cannot use city resources to fund the distribution or purchase of these drug consumption supplies.
As long as we're talking about the drugs situation. I'm sorry, Sarah, did I cut you off?
Right. I wanted to make sure it is a little bit more nuanced. This does not apply to needles. I fully support needle exchange because that is reducing the harm of spreading human disease. But we're talking about pipes and foil. That's what I was talking about.
And I have been out the past several weeks. As you know, I spoke to you on Sunday about the encampment that's popping up in the shadow of the Space Needle, and it continues to grow every day there. But I was out at Dr. Jose Rizal Park a couple weeks ago. It was trashed. There's foil everywhere. What do you make of this, and how do we start making some moves to help getting people into treatment and off the streets?
Well, that's exactly what needs to happen and should have been happening all along. First of all, outreach to people that are living outside in streets, in parks, etc. Outreach that encourages people to get into treatment. That's first and foremost. We cannot just sort of, I do believe that in some harm reduction in principles, but when we're talking about drugs as deadly as fentanyl, we need to do much more to encourage people to get into treatment. So that's first and foremost that we have to keep doing. But your description of Jose Rizal Bridge, the area around there, it is also happening. I've seen in the north end as well. So that is unfortunate. Hate to see that. Hate to see us going backwards.
Talking with Seattle City Council President Sarah Nelson. Charlie, when you were out there in Jose Rizal Park with We Heart Seattle, I believe it was Andrea Suarez who said, as a result of what's happening in the city in the coming year, there will be a nightmare inflow of people coming to Seattle.
That's because she does not think that the incoming mayor will be in favor of sweeps and getting people into this treatment we're talking about. So, Sarah, what are you seeing as we have a new incoming mayor-elect, Katie Wilson? Do you think she will continue the policies, or what do you foresee?
Well, first of all, let me start with the positive. On the campaign trail, Mayor-elect Wilson did focus a lot on expanding shelter. And that is what we need to do. We closed a lot of our shelters during the pandemic, the congregate shelters, et cetera. And the cities that have had the best success in dealing with unsheltered homelessness have done so by increasing shelter because we have to remove people from the inhumane conditions of living in encampments. So if she makes good on that promise, that is a good way to go. However, that has to be coupled with an urgent effort to get people out of the inhumane conditions they're living in. And if there's not a commitment to that, that is bad for everyone. It's bad for the people that are living in those conditions and bad for the city in general. So I am concerned if that is the policy direction that holds sway going forward.
Do you have any advice for incoming council member Dion Foster, who's taking over your seat?
Well, yes, I want to make sure that well, first of all, where to start? There are a lot of resources that I was able to get into the budget this past season, the past budget deliberations for 2026 for treatment, for rehab, for methadone and buprenorphine. And I want to make sure that she takes advantage of it. And it all revolves around a desire to resolve encampments. We're not talking about sweeps. Just that very word is politicized because what we've been doing for the past 4 years is resolving encampments by offering shelter, places for people to go. And that's always been the policy priority. So we have to keep that up because, as I said, it's not fair to the people that are living outside. If we don't do that, we're basically giving up and complicit in increasing numbers of people who are suffering from substance abuse disorder, victims of violence in encampments, etc. So that is what I'm really focused on. And when we're talking about the Wilson administration, what has to happen first is a commitment to the policy of getting people out from these encampments and into someplace safe. And whatever kind of shelter. Go on.
Sarah, I want to talk about our conversation we had on the phone on Sunday because a lot of times people think we're dehumanizing the homeless, and it's the exact opposite. These are people who are loved by their families. Their families want to get them help. These are people deserving of love and care, and that is what you are concerned about.
Right, exactly. That's what I sometimes say to myself or other people. When you're walking around downtown, past people that are bent over from fentanyl, pretend you love them. Pretend they are somebody in your family, your brother, your sister, your mother, whatever. How would you want the city officials to deal with them? And I believe that everybody wants the best for their loved ones. And so the answer is get those people help. And we're not doing, and for the 4 years that I've been in office, I've been trying to focus on the need to expand addiction treatment services, because until we do, we're really not going to make a big difference in unsheltered homelessness or in so many of our public safety problems. Because addiction drives both.
It does. Let's continue this conversation, Sarah Nelson. It is fascinating to talk with you, and I'm really interested in your next chapter after this. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you. All right.
Take care. Bye. Seattle City Council President Sarah Nelson.
8:23 now. Chris Sullivan is at the traffic desk.
It's a disabled semi that is causing the ruckus on northbound 167 coming out of the Auburn area. We're backed up from Highway 18 up past Emerald Downs. Got about a 30-minute trip to make it from Auburn to Renton, and an hour and 10 all the way from Puyallup, as we're starting to see a little bit of improvement getting through Pacific. Once you get through that in Auburn, it's going to be a pretty clean drive all the way up until you get to 405, and then Renton to Bellevue's running just under 40 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle's back to about an hour and 5-minute trip with 45 of those minutes from South Center. It's not too bad, really, from Federal Way up past 188. Across the lake, we're still doing really well. There's not much action in either direction on either one. Coming down from the north end, we're thinning in Marysville. Have a little bit of a break right by the Everett Mall, but away from Linwood is the normal stuff. Got about an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, which really isn't too bad at this time of day. A little bit over Tiger Mountain as well, but manageable. variable. 16 looking really good back and forth between Port Orchard and Tacoma. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Our forecast, we're going to stay cloudy today, but dry. Kind of chilly, only 45 for the high. The rain returns tomorrow, up to a quarter of an inch of rain tomorrow. Right now it's cloudy and 44 in Seattle.
And coming up December 10th, KIRO News Radio celebrates 37 years of holiday magic. You can join us as we share stories of hope and highlight the amazing work Treehouse does for kids in foster care across the state. So tune in December 10th, our day of giving. You can hear incredible stories, meet special guests, and learn how you can help make the season brighter. mynorthwest.com/holiday magic or text MAGIC to 888-973-5476.
And coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on Seattle Mayor-elect Katie Wilson's team beginning to take shape.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse for the 37th Annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO News Radio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
It's always such a pleasure for me to catch up with you, Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. And as I understand it, calendar year is wrapping up. There's never a better time to take care of your aches and pains. Why?
Well, it's always a great time to come see us here at IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. We'll take care of your aches and pains. We'll get you better. But particularly, Brock, at the end of the year, most people have met their deductibles. They may have HSA, may have FSA funds. So use the opportunity to use your insurance to treat those aches and pains so you're not taking them into the new year. So you're healthy, fit, and you're excited about the new year. That's what it's all about. Here at IRG, we are so dedicated to making sure our patients really understand the insurance because it's a complex world. So when you call us, we're going to help you navigate your insurance. But I will tell everybody listening right now, if you've met your deductible, get your aches and pains treated here at IRG. We'll take care of you. We'll take care of your insurance. We'll take care of your family. We'll take care of everybody.
Clinics up and down the Puget Sound for you to go visit or see them online at irgpt.com.
Get ready, because Murphy Auction is closing out the year with a massive Marysville equipment auction with the complete dispersal of AA rentals, 7 mini excavators, 17 skid steers, tractors, backhoes, telescopic forklifts, and over 100 gas-powered landscaping tools. Need something heavier? A John Deere 85G excavator, a Hitachi ZX290LC, a Cat CS563E roller, and 10 high-reach boom lifts, plus 3 big-time dump trucks hit the block. A 2018 Kenworth T880 Super Solo, a 2019 Peterbilt Quad Axle, and a 2005 Kenworth G800 Quad Axle, plus a fleet of 6 2017 to 2019 Peterbilt 567 tractors. Auction opens 10 a.m. Thursday, December 4th, and closes 10 a.m. Thursday, December 11th. Preview is Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 3803 136th Street Northeast in Marysville. Visit murphyauction.com for details.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Seattle U's men's basketball is hosting some big games at Climate Pledge. Come see teams like UW, Wazoo, and the Zags. First game is December 7th against UTEP. Grab your tickets at GoSeattleU.com/tickets.
KIRO Newsradio. Breaking news.
Good morning. It's 8:31. A notorious serial rapist who terrorized Spokane in the 1980s has died in Federal Way.
According to KIRO 7 TV, Kevin Coe, known as the South Hill Rapist, died of natural causes this morning about 5:30. He was convicted of one rape in the early 1980s, but investigators linked him to more than 40 assaults in Spokane's South Hill area. He had recently moved to Federal Way, which raised concerns among neighbors there who spoke with KIRO 7.
My initial reaction is, I guess, eyebrows raised.
I am concerned because there's kids here, especially my kids. They walk through the bus stop.
His victims ranged in age from 15 to 51. Coe was a level 3 sex offender and was released from state custody in October.
Again, he died this morning at 5:30 of natural causes. We're getting a better picture of who will be helping Seattle Mayor-elect Katie Wilson run Seattle.
Wilson has named part of her leadership team when she takes office January 1st. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest.
Yeah, Charlie, Wilson is tapping a mix of City Hall veterans and longtime allies, and we're getting hints of things to come from at least one of those veterans. Her deputy mayor is going to be Brian Surratt. He worked for former Mayor Ed Murray and was one of the key negotiators in raising the minimum wage to $15 here in Seattle. Well, during an interview back in 2021 that we found, he said the city needs to focus on hiring and retraining good officers, police officers, and focusing on building trust among police officers with communities. And he also said this about affordability in the city.
More and more people of all income stripe levels need to be living in downtown. It can no longer just solely be perceived as a place where you go to work and you go back to your communities. And part of that equity focus is people living together, people living in the same community.
And now we'll talk about one of Wilson's strongest allies that she's enlisted the help of. Kate Burnett-Kreuzer will serve as Wilson's chief of staff, arguably the most important role in any administration. She was the treasurer for Wilson's Transit Riders Union, which is not actually a union, but a small lobbying firm with just a handful of employees focused on promoting equitable and accessible public transit. The firm also posted losses, we should say, in 2022, 2023, and 2024 to compare. The city of Seattle employs more than 15,000 employees, so that's going to be a jump for sure for her chief of staff. A little earlier this morning, a little while ago, you asked City Council President Sarah Nelson about Wilson. If Wilson can be successful when it comes to solving the homeless crisis, she said yes if she gets people off the street. However, Nelson also said this.
That has to be coupled with an urgent effort to get people out of the inhumane conditions they're living in. And if there's not a commitment to that, that is bad for everyone. It's bad for the people that are living in those conditions and bad for the city in general.
One thing Wilson has not touched on is whether she will keep Police Chief Sean Barnes. Again, she takes office January 1st.
Appreciate the update, Luke. Time to check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
One issue on the board is just north of Highway 18 on 167 northbound. We have stalled semi that is still blocking the right lane right as we get toward the Emerald Downs area. But a 25-minute trip from Auburn to Renton is still pretty good, and we're back under an hour from Puyallup. So that's great. Renton to Bellevue's back under 40 minutes, probably closer to 36 now, which is pretty good as well. Olympia to Tacoma, you don't really hit the brakes at all on I-5 northbound until you get up to about the Fife curve, then a little bit up to Highway 18, and then a pretty decent drive until you get all the way up to about the beginnings of Boeing Field. Still about 45 minutes from South Center to downtown, but that puts us at about an hour and 5 all the way. Coming down from the north end, we're about an hour, maybe a little under, from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, which is pretty good. And really from Arlington all the way down until you get to Linwood, you're going to be in a pretty good shape. The lake bridges are quiet, which is surprising, but good. This report brought to you by the KIRO Radio Rundown. Text newsletter to 888-973-5476 and subscribe to the daily KIRO News Radio Rundown to get the latest news and updates from your favorite shows right to your inbox.
Our forecast, if you are seeing any sprinkles, they will dry up. We'll stay dry for the bulk of the day today. Maybe even a peak of sunshine for the afternoon. 45 our high today. Rain returns tomorrow. It'll be steady in the morning, tapering off to showers in the afternoon and a high of 47. Right now, cloudy and 44 in Seattle.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
All right, back to the serious stuff. We have told you Costco has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration for the president's imposing of tariffs on American companies, demanding a refund.
And joining us now, as he does every Wednesday morning, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Okay, Rob, what is going on with this Costco case?
Well, Costco is one of dozens of companies that have filed lawsuits to achieve two things. One, they want a full refund of the new tariffs imposed by the Trump administration that's already paid this year. And two, they want to block those tariffs or import duties from continuing to be collected from the company. Now, this raises the question of, why did they file this suit now? The Supreme Court case is pending on whether or not the president had authority under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to impose these tariffs. Why not just wait until after they rule? Well, the answer is, one, we don't know when the Supreme Court's actually going to rule, even though they took the case on an expedited basis. And two, Costco and the other companies are arguing that there's a December 15 deadline that could prevent the tariffs that's already paid from being refunded. This is under a provision for challenging tariffs. It's like paying your estimated taxes, and then later on you say, well, I think I overpaid, and I want to get a refund of the overpayment amount.
These are large companies, Rob. Do we know how much money we're talking about?
Costco has not said. So apparently the way this works is they pay estimated amounts of tariffs, and then there's some sort of reconciliation. And presumably if a company pays less than it owes, it pays the balance, or if it's overpaid, it gets a refund. But no one seems to know exactly how much money we're talking about here. The administration in the early days of the tariffs claimed, I think it's the Treasury Secretary, that the tariffs were generating $50 to $100 billion a year. But I don't know what the amount is. It's a lot, and if these companies all have to be refunded, it's definitely going to hit the Treasury.
Would you imagine this would embolden other companies to go after these lawsuits over the impact of tariffs, especially if Costco is successful?
I think so. I think that, like taxpayers who are paying a tax that's subsequently struck down as unlawful, they'll want to get refunds. Costco and these other companies seem to think that in order to preserve their ability to get a refund of the estimated tariffs they've paid this year, they have to file by December 15th. If that's true, and we're still 12 days out from that deadline, you may see many, many more such lawsuits filed preemptively to preserve the ability of these companies to obtain the refunds if the tariffs are struck down. So it's a big deal, and this is likely not to be the end of the lawsuits that are filed.
Would we expect the administration to somehow retaliate against Costco?
Well, that's a very interesting question that did cross my mind. Costco has not kowtowed to this administration. There were no Costco executives at the inauguration, unlike some of the big tech executives. They've been under pressure from the administration to eliminate their corporate environmental, social, and governance policies that favor, green power and that favor DEI policies, and they've refused to do it. They've reaffirmed their commitment to their own internal DEI policies under that pressure. And so far, notwithstanding a lot of saber rattling from the Department of Justice towards corporate America, they haven't backed down on that either.
Former state AG Rob McKenna joins us every week. Rob, thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
We're going to take a look at the backup on northbound 167 getting out of Auburn. The stalled semi's out of the way. We'll break it down for you next.
Save the date, Wednesday, December 10th. Join KIRO Newsradio and Treehouse for the 37th annual Holiday Magic, providing holiday gifts and year-round support for more than 6,500 kids in foster care statewide. Over the past 36 years of Holiday Magic, we've delivered 182,000 gifts across our state. Join KIRO Newsradio and Treehouse this year and share the joy of the holiday season. Wednesday, December 10th. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 to learn more.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchy's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community, not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Hi, this is Keith Ashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. This holiday season, give your home the gift it's been waiting for. Beautiful new windows and doors from Pella, making your home brighter, cozier, and more energy efficient for the year ahead. Right now, enjoy 40% off qualifying installs or 24 months of zero interest with equal payments. Premium products, expert installation, and service that feels like family. It's why homeowners across the Northwest trust Pella. Visit PellaPNW.com to schedule your in-home consultation today.
Well, the wet, chilly weather has certainly arrived. It's Mike Salk here, and if your attic and crawl space are well insulated, your home should be fine. Should feel cozy and warm without your furnace having to work overtime. But you'd be surprised to learn how many homes in Western Washington lack insulation in these spaces. It's why you call Crawl Pros. If you're feeling cold drafts or seeing that heating bill spike, now's a great time to learn if you got anything going on behind that crawl space or attic by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come out to your house just like they did to mine, do the corner-to-corner inspection. In my case, they found the problem, showed me the pictures, and then they got it all fixed. Now, if they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates that are available to help you get the work done correctly. Like if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could get a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost of the insulation job. If you're worried anything is going on in your crawl space or attic, including critters, water intrusion, mold, plumbing issues, anything, call Crawl Pros and schedule your free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
8:43, let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And we have cleared the semi that was blocking the right lane. It was conked out, not involved in a crash. Northbound 167, just past 15th Northwest by Emerald Downs. It's out of the way. We still have a backup to 18, but it's getting better. We're back under 25 minutes from Auburn, and we're back under an hour from the Puyallup area through Renton because of the brake lights in Pacific. And then Renton to Bellevue is still about 37, 38 minutes. We have heavy braking up through the S-curves. It thins out, and then you hit it again at I-90. Northbound I-5 still looking really good from Olympia all the way up to about the beginnings of Boeing Field. And from there on up, it's about 40 minutes into Seattle from South Center. That gives us an hour all the way. 509 northbound was a little heavy coming out of Burien up primarily through South Park, but manageable. Across across the lake, we're still doing really well at this point. And it looks like we've got a few more DOT workers and a couple of trucks now on southbound I-5 near the Mill Creek interchange. That's where we had some debris in the roadway. They're in the process of cleaning all the stuff up that was thrown off onto the shoulder while they're trying to get those lanes reopened. Not a big backup at all really around it. Just something to keep an eye on as you kind of come up that hill there coming out of 128th. Overall, we've got ourselves about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, which really isn't bad. And the lake bridges are good. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, nothing too threatening today. It's going to be chilly, though, a high of only 45, mainly dry. And here comes the rain again. Overnight into tomorrow, it'll be pretty steady rain, tapering off to showers for the afternoon and a high of 47. Friday, Saturday, scattered showers, highs into the low 50s once again, and more steady rain arrives on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, cloudy and 44.
Well, a show just smashed some serious records. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard.
Stranger Things Season 5 had our record-breaking debut on Netflix.
We have a plan. It's a bit insane.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
No idea, but I think we should find out.
In its first 5 days alone, it got nearly 60 million views, which marks the all-time best premiere week for an English-language show. It ranks the third best overall, coming behind seasons 2 and 3 of the Korean sci-fi series Squid Game. The Hawkins game isn't going anywhere, though. More episodes arrive on Christmas before the movie theater release of the highly anticipated series finale. That'll be on New Year's Eve.
What are they, Taylor Swift? They're just releasing these drips and drabs, making you go to a movie theater to see it?
People
it's
will
working.
Go.
It is working. Yeah, my wife and I have watched all the episodes so far, and we're hooked.
No spoilers, please.
Let's go to the Down Under. Is that what it's called? The Upside Down. Yeah.
Just tell me all about it in like one word, because I don't really care.
Awesome. 80s nostalgia. No.
Yeah. No, I lived in the 80s,
I think.
So it's fine.
Okay, coming up, we will have G. Scott. He is going to talk about the AI bubble. Is it bound to pop? He'll explain.
Oh, but I have to tell you about the Seahawks first.
You don't have to. You get to.
I get to. The Seahawks only have 2 home games left. Can you believe it? For the regular season, and we want you to be there. KIRO News Radio giving away 4 tickets to the Hawks game, December 14th.
All you need to do, open the KIRO News Radio app, click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't have the app, text app to 888-973-5476. We'll send you a link to download, and you can enter every day to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, December 8th.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. DayandNight.net.
Comcast Business is celebrating the holidays by giving your business the $1,000 holiday bonus when you switch to a gig speed internet package. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 12, the new laptop for the office holiday hero. Or possibility number 108, smart speakers to deck those hallways. Or possibility number 192, new equipment for the new year. Or possibility number 555, Bluetooth holiday lights for office decor. Switch to Comcast Business, designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect, plus advanced cybersecurity, and now get the $1,000 holiday bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 12/14/25. New customers only with 2-year agreement. Requires qualifying gig package. Other restrictions apply.
Paid political announcement.
More than half of short-term rentals across Washington are booked by Washingtonians. Families traveling for their children's tournaments and games. Firefighters fighting wildfires. Traveling nurses providing critical care. Every day, short-term rentals are helping make travel more affordable. Legislators in Olympia are considering increasing taxes on short-term rentals. But with the cost of everything going up, we can't take another price increase. Keep travel affordable for us. Paid for by Airbnb helps our state thrive host pack.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on mynorthwest.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Would you look at the clock? Joining us now from the G and Ursula Show. You can hear it 9 to noon here on KIRO Newsradio. And don't forget the Reset podcast.
Of course. It's G. Scott, good morning.
Hey, good morning, y'all. AI.
Yeah.
Is the topic that everybody's talking about.
You can't avoid it anymore.
You can't avoid it. Well, it has come to, right, a lot of big companies are banking on AI. I don't know if you guys know this, but in 2025, there's been a lot of layoffs. Right? A lot of big companies have been laying off, and people say, is that AI? Is that AI? Well, we don't know. But we do know this, that companies right now, it's very important for them to make a profit. It is also very important for their stock shares to, for those numbers to be up as well. However, it's a lot of dependency on AI. So is that future real or is it a mirage? We don't know. But let's just say this. Right now, we can agree that AI, people are acting as if it is the new gold rush, right? Like everybody's all in. Right now, probably in your stock portfolio, I would guarantee you if it has been doing well, then you probably have NVIDIA and you have some of those things that have seen your portfolio go up. So there's this thing that's developing that they're saying, is this an AI bubble, right? So if this AI bubble were to pop, what would that mean? What would that mean for you, me, everybody right now that's here? Well, one of the things we do know is that we have been living on a lot of tech inflation. We've seen that, and we are now finding out about real stability. Will there be more hiring in the tech world in 2026? We saw a lot of cuts in 2025. I don't know. I'm not an expert, and I'm also not in tech. But I do know that if this AI bubble were to pop, where does that leave people? Where does that leave the work from home folks, right? That's happening right now. There's a lot of people right now, and by the way, I'm not going to get into whether you should or you shouldn't, but if you are working from home, remember this, you're out of sight. And sometimes if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. Mm-hmm. And if you are working from home, do you still have a stronger network than the people that don't work from home? So that's something to be talked about. So I don't know the answers to this, but I thought and read this KUOW article, and I thought it was fantastic because it is something that we all have to be thinking about, right? What if this thing pops? What if it doesn't go like the gold rush that we expect?
Well, I was working for a startup.com. I was hoping to be a billionaire by the time I was 30, but this was year 2000, 2001.
Okay.
And then we had the dot-com bubble burst.
Yep.
But guess what? We still have .coms. In fact, they came back stronger than ever, but it needed to correct itself.
So, okay, no. And by the way, I had a buddy that was in the startup, and he was, a matter of fact, so much so, I really thought that he was going to be the next billionaire.
Yeah.
Well, when it did pop, you're right, it did come back stronger for some, not all, right? And so there are people that were able to get through that. My buddy never did, though, Charlie.
Kind of like a forest fire, though, right? I mean, it'll go through, but it does lay the groundwork for the next generation.
Yeah, so
what we're saying is we might be billionaires, G.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, you're trying to set me up. See, nope, you're not going to do it. David Burbank. See,
wait, the billionaires.
If you're listening and you're used to hearing what Charlie tried to do right there, it's a radio trick, right? He brought up billionaires, and he knows that bringing up billionaires from me triggers me.
I can tell. You're starting to spin.
You know that. And so now I want to be peaceful today, and I know Manda's going to get. By the way, I got a buddy of mine that texts me.
Yeah.
And he says, G, out of everything you do on the radio, he said, my favorite time is when Manda kicks you out.
I don't do this because I'm mean.
Yeah.
You encouraged me to.
It's my favorite time, too.
Oh, man.
You may be excused.
Oh, man.
Love you, G.
Love you back.
It's 8:54. Sully is at the traffic desk.
And we are doing really well out there for a Wednesday morning. We've made it through the storm today. And so far, our travel times are still coming down, which is great. If you're on the Federal Way to Seattle Drive, you're really not going to hit the brakes at all until you're towards the north end of Boeing Field. We're back down to 50 minutes to make the drive. Maybe get 55 from Federal Way to Seattle, with 40 of those minutes from South Center. So we've picked up about 5 minutes there. We're also down to about 15 minutes out of Auburn and under 50 all the way from Puyallup. So that's also a very good drive. And then Renton to Bellevue's a 30-minute trip. The Lake Bridges, the backups never really materialized today, which is also certainly positive. Coming down from the north end, we're closer to 50 minutes now from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma is nice and easy, so we are definitely through it as long as we stay out of each other's way going through midday. This report brought to you by Superior Linen Service. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company look good with logoed apparel, floor mats, uniforms, and more. Visit suplinen.com.
Our forecast today, it's going to be pretty chilly, a high of only 45. Mostly cloudy, but should stay dry. Here comes the rain overnight, though. It'll be steady tomorrow morning, tapering off to showers by tomorrow afternoon, and 47. Right now, cloudy and 44 in Seattle.
Coming up on G and Ursula, you can hear audio from the body cam footage showing an ex-Pierce County major after he crashed into an SUV carrying a family of 6. And you can watch the footage on YouTube Live during the show.
From holiday hosting to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. And now, during their Sizzle All the Way sale, you can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code SKY at checkout. I was lucky enough to receive Omaha Steaks as a gift, and it was everything I had hoped for. Items were individually packaged so I could cook for the entire family. Or if I was the only one home, I would treat myself with a delicious steak, sides, and even dessert. I loved those nights by myself. Right now is the perfect time to save on delicious gifts and holiday hosting favorites. Every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by master butchers in America's heartland. It's holiday magic made easy. Save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Sizzle All the Way sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code SKY at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, code SKY.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
AAA asked me if I would change my name from Sir Mix-a-Lot to Sir Mix-a-Lot. I said, why would I do that? They said, you're more than just a rapper. You're a car collector. You're a businessman. You're an inventor. Just like AAA is more than just towing. They have awesome travel advisors and insurance agents. And they got 3 A's in their name. Maybe I should change my name. Give me 3 A's. Mix, mix, When I say mix, give me 3 A's. Mix,
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
The Puyallup Tribe of Indians and Salish Cancer Center are excited to announce the 3rd annual Giving Hope Gala. You can help support the Giving Hope Gala December 13th at the Emerald Queen Casino Event Center and raise money for the Patient Financial Assistance Fund. The Salish Cancer Center helps anyone battling cancer, and attending this incredible event supports that cause. For tickets, sponsorship, and additional information on the Giving Hope Gala, visit puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM, and HD.